Recording in progress.
All right. Um, where is she? Okay, here we go. All right, Spelljammer calendar coming up. Um, so as a reminder, I think it'll be especially relevant for this game. I've been taking some reviews into consideration. I've got some very good stuff back, and I'm going to continue to review, continue to possibly add some new stuff or change my ways to be better. But for starters, two things. Now, potion drinking, not feeding, but drinking, is a bonus action no matter what level you're at. So good stuff. And the second is that I might be a little more willing to. This isn't like a hard, solid thing, just so it's not abusable, but much more likely you're going to earn inspiration if you invite a fellow party member to downtime or a personal activity or something that would normally be a solo activity. Sometimes it can't be helped, but I do want to encourage bringing the party together as much as possible. Yeah, so keep those in mind. Um, okay, but let's get to our game. Where are we? Oh my God. Let's see. Okay, so you guys return to the Rock Brawl. You sold off all of your wares and gear, acquired a couple of magic items, and made a significant sum. Certainly enough that if you wish to, you could purchase your own space galleon. But you guys decided that you would hold up, continue to save money, and maybe later on, play the long game, invest in the comedy club when it becomes necessary, maybe, or wait on a bigger, badder ship, whatever. Playing the long game, that's perfectly fair. Um, and you guys got to doing some downtime stuff. Ed worked on creating essentially a modified quadrige for the manga now, and it was a little difficult, but eventually made schematics and blueprints enough to be able to do this. Hasn't built one yet. That's its own beast unto itself, but certainly has the plans for the initial prototype, and that is good stuff. Um, Chaplin started to prepare for recruiting for his comedy club. Etherith recruited Dame Alara Moonshadow, a oath of the ancient Selenite from the Feywild, who is happy to help you with the Kindori problem, as the party decided to take on the still available quest from the Selenites of the Rock of Brawl, that the Kindori there's some kind of plague going on with the Kindori that is affecting people, but it seems as of now uncurable. Considering they're the carriers, they would very much like to see these beautiful celestial creatures freed of their plague and illness. So that is the quest you've undertaken, with hopes of possible recognition, maybe a couple of magical items, a couple of religious artifacts to help enhance your party, and with the blessing of the High Priestess, which might include a boon of some kind, maybe even the casting of a spell, who knows. Basan learned to fold crane origamis with her psionic powers and sort of learn about patience and how it relates to the use of her psionic powers. Zalace went and did some crime, um, and it went pretty well. Also went to try and seek out information about Ed's brother, but by the nature of trying to find someone who does not want to be found, it was a difficult task and nothing came about, especially in the wake of Captain Jord gaining reputation in the Rock Brawl. So kind of overshadowing any news about his brother. And Apoxy, certainly the most interesting of the downtime individuals, went and bought some armor and decided, as any good citizen, should go do a little labor, make up some costs, make up some, for their living conditions. And the foreman on the job that Apoxy was working for brought her into the cult of Baphomet, the Horned Lord and Master of Hunters, who has a little cult going here in the Rock of Brawl. And Apoxy decided to prove her loyalty. Nice. Prove her loyalty by ripping that man's heart out, him being lesser prey. And the cult loved that, and so did Baphomet, and gave Apoxy a boon to make them a better hunter. So Apoxy is now secretly a member of the cult of Baphomet and is doing quite well for herself off the bat. And that is where we ended off. So you guys have accepted this quest. It is very much an open quest. So there are other people who are trying to seek out what you're trying to seek out, and it is a race against the clock. Where if you do not solve the problem soon, perhaps the Kindori will become extinct from this plane of existence. So you must work smart, but work fast. What do you all wish to do? True consequence.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
Um, has it been integrated into D&D Beyond? The bonus action thing?
Oh, no, it has not, but I can do that really quickly. So I
Okay.
will start working on that right
No worries. I've got it copied down.
now.
And
Got
is
it.
there a limited use to it or just whenever within the time frame?
I shall let you know as soon as I do.
Awesome. In that case, that's all the questions I
It
had at the
was
moment.
it was unerring hunter, right? That's what it's called.
Yes.
Cool. I'll work on that
Unerring
for you.
tracker, yes.
Well, and unerring track. Thank you. So working away on that. Anybody else? Yes, Pisamo.
As part of the whole crane thing, in sometime during this time, could she get to a store and pick up more paper, an empty journal for writing, and I I feel like objectively it would be painter's tools and not a calligrapher's set, but she wants to work on art in ink and learn about
Uh,
drawing. Like not every artist is a painter. Some people use chalks. She wants to use ink.
okay, and that's
But
fine. I think that definitely does though fit under calligrapher because, um, uh, well, I guess it depends. Are you doing words or are you doing images?
images.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I will say go ahead for painters. Yeah, learn that those.
Um, can we agree that it's a modified, not brushes, it's nibs, and that she's using ink? And I'll buy the ink and nibs and stuff separately if I need to. I just
Just go ahead and pick up painter supplies, and that will incorporate what you do wish for. If you wanted to pick up an actual ink, if that's specifically what you're going for, then you may, of course, go ahead and add that to your inventory as well. Just make sure to mark off the costs.
absolutely I'll and if those things are available, I'll just go ahead and do that. Oh, can I make a roll to find a primer on paper folding? Maybe something that's a little
Uh,
more complex than cranes.
so to be clear, we have exited downtown. We're no longer
Okay,
in downtown.
sorry.
So this is you can do this. You're absolutely welcome to do this. I just want to let you know that this is going to go into to what you're doing this day after the downtime.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me an investigation check to look through the various libraries and see if you can find what you're looking for.
I think that's going to be a 13. 14.
14. Yeah, you find some stuff. It's very much, yeah, it's, sorry, specifically what were you looking for again? One more time.
A pamphlet or primer on paper folding, like origami.
Yeah, you find it's kind of a, yeah, you find something.
Cool. How much does it cost?
Just add that primer. It's 25 gold pieces. You can purchase that primer to paper folding. Yeah, at like a craftsman's store.
That's it. Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Give me like literally 10, like 20 seconds. I'll be right back.
Just to fill in the space, Apoxy's gonna try to do another model of our last captain. I'm rolling this flat. I don't have proficiency, and here we go. 14. I'll ask him about it after he gets here.
Well, all I was gonna do is go try and find a mirror because I realized Etherith has no idea what they look like.
Oh my goodness.
They haven't seen their face.
You can take a look through my shining new armor.
Sorry about that.
Ryan, real quick, I
Yeah.
don't know if you caught, but I rolled a 14 to make another model of our latest captain. Why am I farting right now? My brain.
Gosh.
You're using one of your
Varsh!
tools. Oh, okay. You're making a marsh, a little marsh guy. What tools are you using?
Wood carvers again.
Got it. You rolled a 14?
14.
Yeah, because you, the last one. Forgot about that.
I wanted to cry.
It was really funny though. Yeah, 14. You carve one. It's not the best thing in the world. I think like someone will look at it and be like, oh, that's nice. And you'll have to say, like, oh, it's Varsh. And they'll be like, oh, cool. Like it looks like a Hadozi, but I don't think anyone associates with Varsh specifically until you like kind of have to say, you're like, it's Varsh. And they go, oh, I see it. And they do.
I'll write under it, just Varsh.
Got it. There you go. Yeah, maybe write it into like the bottom black or something like that. So
No, I wrote it under the whole thing.
Okay. Good. So it's good, but it does require a little explaining. Yeah, Ethereth.
Ethereth will quickly try and find a mirror to buy for their room.
Can be done. I believe there is like a steel mirror. In the
Here I am. No, I'm kidding.
There is indeed a steel mirror for 5 gold pieces, according to the.
Got it. Do you want a handheld one, or do you want like a lamp?
Not like a massive, like a huge one, but not a handheld one. When you can like just stick on the side of like your room,
Yeah. Yeah.
Bathroom mirror.
Let's just call it double. We'll say 10 gold pieces, and you can have like a nice mirror that hangs on the wall.
Sure. And Ethereth will finally discover what they actually look like.
Yay!
Never seen their face.
What if they're like, holy shit, I'm a dragon?
Well, all he knows is that like he has scales, which could be anything.
That's
I mean,
fair.
he just knows he knows he's a dragon. He has memories of that, but like he doesn't know what his face looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's the other thing he needs to do.
No problem.
I guess if we're all cramming another day, Ed's gonna try and find a cook by any means necessary.
No problem. Make me a investigation check to find a good cook.
Oh, nice. That's 3 plus 7, 10.
3 plus 7 is a 10.
Yeah.
The first person you run into is this plasmoid. It's this green plasmoid guy who's like, I love the idea of eating food. I mean, I can't eat food. I simply stuff nutrients into my body and I have no taste buds. But I've always been a practical study of it.
I like your energy, and I think, I like the practicality here, but this crew's had a couple rough trips, so I want them to have a real tasty meal. And if you can't taste, I don't know, I feel like that.
Are you being racist to plasmoids because we don't have taste buds?
Whoa, hang on there.
Hey, this guy won't hire me because I'm a plasmoid.
No, I have many plasmoid friends, and I would have voted for the third time.
And some people are like, come on, man. Like some people around are like, oh, come on,
no.
But no, I'm sorry. I just you gotta keep my options open.
He goes, that's kind of fucked up of you, sir. But you managed to get out of the conversation and you go, but so we'll say the 10, that's kind of you get kind of run out. You find that guy though, but so I'll give you one more roll. We'll say you like go and kind of hide out for a couple hours, and then you come back looking for more people.
Dude, it's another 3 + 7.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
We're never gonna find a cook.
Another plasma.
I love this
I'm not gonna
game.
totally. Every part of me wants to be like, I'm that guy's brother, but no, I'm not gonna do that to you. A 10 is not like a complete failure, but you're certainly not gonna find the best cook in the world. Let's see. Who we got? Give me a minute. I want to find someone. All right, here we go. Yeah, you find like this like old woman. She's like, "Hey, Toots, how you doing? You want to cook?" She like ashes the cigarette. She goes, "Yeah, I've been working around. I know how to make a good burger. You know, you want to cook? I could be a cook, baby."
Yeah, you seem real homey and very, very seasoned yourself. So, yeah, I think the crew appreciate this.
Yeah, as long as they don't comment on my smoking. All right, I won't work anywhere that doesn't let me smoke. It's my right.
Huh. No one on the crew's made a problem about smoking until now, so I don't see why they'd start now. But yeah, I think that's fine. Now, what's your rate?
I would take the 2 gold rate because I'm a professional, sweetheart.
Yeah, that feels fair. Well, we're gonna start tomorrow. We're planning on we're gonna go far. So as long as you're good with space travel and all that.
I'd love to go far with you, sweetheart.
I'm flattered, but gotta keep it professional. I'm your captain after all.
I ain't never been with no rock man before. What's
Yeah,
it like down below, if you don't mind my asking,
so,
sweetheart?
okay, well, I thank you, and please be at docks at bright and early, and
I'll see you there, sweetheart. And she'll like wink at you and she'll wander off. You get the sense that this woman hasn't lived off anything more than coffee and cigarettes for the last couple of years. She's like pretty thin and she wanders off. Yeah.
I hate
You don't
it,
even know
but
her
I love
name
it.
and you brought her up.
I got a good feeling about it.
You do? I mean, of course.
This is going to be the NPC we break the universe for, guys.
Yes. No questions.
This is our Boblin the Goblin.
We gotta ask her her name.
It's funny because like, it's like how good food tastes isn't something that I admittedly could, RP heavily. But like in real life, I'd be like devastated. But like, I kind of love the idea of this kind of cook. Like mechanically, it's all good, but like they're just disaster. Like,
Oh my god.
like one of my favorite sitcom characters is the janitor from Scrubs, who's like smarter than everyone, and like is constantly just attacking the lead. It's very funny. Fun bit. But yeah, after recruiting her, Ed would go back to his quarters and maybe start like if he has any idea, doing like a budget in his head for the schematics he has.
Yeah.
I assume Basan's gone all day doing her thing, but he'll show her the schematic first thing in the morning. But that's
Etherith
all.
will, Etherith will come back and find the captain and like look in the mirror and then back to Captain. On a scale of 1 to 10, do I look good or? I think I look good, but What do you think?
Well, personally speaking, it's you got to break it down to fundamentals. You got both your eyes, you've got all your teeth, you know, and no hit, no like no scars or anything. Nothing against scars. There's a lot of people who like scars, but you know what I mean. You've got it all down there. It's good. You know.
Doesn't really answer my question, but I suppose.
Oh, do you want like an actual number? I think like a solid 8. Got
Eight. Oh,
yeah.
that's quite high.
There you go. It gives you something to work for, but you've got all your fundamentals now.
It's very interesting how my jaw is all rounded, but then the top of my head and back is just spine.
By the way, do you remember having wings and all that, like flying? Do you miss that? I feel like I'd miss that.
The first few days, it felt like I had phantom wings. Like they were there, but they weren't.
Huh.
But not so much now.
Yeah. My markings are kind of like that. And he'll show his arm. Yeah, like really dig in there, and it's weird because it's kind of like scarring, but it's artistic. In my case, it was very much for a purpose. But I think it's helped me look about like I don't know what do you give me like a 7? I feel like I'm a good 7, right?
I love that this is like the Dragonborn and the Earth Genasi, like trying to figure out how effective they are.
I can't say I'm familiar with your kind, therefore I have no baseline to work off of. But if I had to give a number based on just you, I guess 7. Sounds fair.
Sounds fair. That's fair. You can't be handing out 10s and 9s all willy nilly now. So Celine's like a 9, right? If I said 10, that'd be too much, right? No, not that I would never tell her a rating. This is terrible at Drift. Why do you get me thinking about these things? And these numbers they could really mess with someone's ego and stuff. But I appreciate it.
Well, I pride myself on my honesty, and he gives a smile.
I like the hat. That's a
the hat is great. It was the best thing I found on those dead cultists.
But if hats can speak, which I've heard that happen before, so I didn't mean that literal. It's kind of more of a joke. But I found us a cook, by the way.
Oh,
yeah, they've got like a good culture to them. Yeah, they seem very cultured. Very forward. They definitely thought I was more than a 7, maybe.
Oh, good for you. You
no,
good for you.
This yeah. I think when you meet them, you'll probably reconsider that statement. But yeah.
Oh, it can't be that bad. You wouldn't have hired them if it was.
I wasn't that bad. They were very friendly. I think sometimes friendliness can be a little forward. Yeah. Maybe down the line we should get an officer specifically on crew interactions. And making sure everyone is comfortable aboard the Dawn Eclipse, and we should probably budget out a role for that. With great importance.
You do. His name is Jorn Axbeard. He is your quartermaster and first mate, and he is responsible for the crew and making sure they're happy.
I would love for Jordan to have heard all that.
I do imagine he's standing in the background
which is a perfect way. Oh, I think that covers our crew needs for this mission specifically. I do admit I have some costs I'm gonna present for additional, upgrades, uh, specifically for offensive purposes. We think I might, we there's a lot of battles out there, and I think having ourselves more equipped to take out any potential threats kind of works in the favor of a Shrike. As opposed to, we could. I feel like defensively, our best course is going to be to make it faster. So, but for now, I just have some upgrades. So, might.
Certainly, if we want to use that big, it kind of just points to like the beak of the ship. Want to use that? Or want to be swift and well armored?
Yeah, of course. I just, I don't want to press forward unless everyone is comfortable, because it's at the end of the day, it's all of our money, not just the ships. But
Speaking of costs, though, I guess I'd look to Joran. How how are supplies going for us? I don't think we had much left when we got back.
No, we only had about 2 days of rations left for the whole crew. We will have to be resupplying, Captain. If we want that to happen, I'd be more than happy to stock us up and organize all of that such thing. If you're willing to pass along the coin.
of course, I was actually thinking about that. How long do you think we should take to find these creatures?
Well, if with all due respect, Captain, I think that's your job. You'll be the leader of this here ship, and it'll be on you to decide our course of action. It's just for me to make sure that you're able to do that.
Yeah, because my thinking, and maybe you can help me with this after, is we can hit every single hotspot possible and sort of, in one whole trip before we come back, as opposed to just going from hotspot back, and I think we're gonna be out there a long time.
Is this your way of asking me to roll nature to see if I can figure out the most likely location of the Kindori?
Well, if I didn't word it that way specifically, but just if you want to look out there and see what you got. I've never been
Well, let me
Kindoriing
think.
myself, but
If I was a large space whale, where would I go? Can I roll?
Sure, roll me a nature check.
That's an 11.
That's an 11. As far as you've been told and as far as you know, Kindori, they just kind of roam. They just roam wild space, and that's kind of what they do. They're not like localized. So they're not planet side. You know that they wouldn't like stick too close to like planets. They're wild space creatures. With
they
a
large?
10, I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Are they large enough for my wild space orrery to like pick them up?
They're gargantuan creatures. I imagine it's possible.
Okay, that makes things a little both easier and harder in that that's like going to pick up every single.
I'll tell you what, Ed. I want you to roll me a nature check as well as you're a part of this conversation.
okay. Well, that is a
Or sur-
7 plus 4 for 11.
Same as me.
Yeah, same information as Etherith. They don't stick too close to planets. They roam wild space.
I suppose almost. I mean, wild space is very large, but I would say our most likely point of contact will be in the large gap between Glyph and Toril. Just a big 10-day expanse. But
maybe while we do that, instead of going to them, maybe we figure out a way to bring them to us. See if there's some sort of lure or anything we can use. call them out. They're they are magic based, right? So maybe source of magic or something along those lines.
I mean, magic is kind of relative. They're
Um,
how would one lure in a giant whale? Hmm.
I'll tell you what. Make me. Maybe a little history or investigation check for your choice.
Okay, makes literally no difference to choose or choose history.
can I make an investigation?
Sure.
Okay, I got 12 on history.
Okay.
I do
Got
have
a nat one,
Oh boy,
which
guys.
is +7, 8. So
I do have one idea. We'll just check his number, so I can just do that anytime I want. Oh yeah, I can do it whenever I want. And I kind of like basically just take out my I kind of like point to the top of my staff and it just starts flashing. And I start kind of like trying to mimic when we saw the Kindori before, like trying to like mimic the light flashing of their eyes. I have no idea if this will mean anything to them. I may even just defend them, but they might be able to see it from afar. I don't know how they work.
well, if it gets their attention, that's it's good enough for us. And well, what we do once we have that attention, I sure hope our paladin friend and chaplain's healing can take it from there for us.
Maybe she'll know how to lure them in. We should ask her.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll do it over breakfast tomorrow.
It is worth noting, you guys, as far as your NPCs go, you have a number of experts that you have brought along or hired with you that might know a thing or two, perhaps. Who knows? If you were looking.
Alright. Well, in any case, Doran, let's stock up for 20 days. Let's play it safe.
All right, 20 days it is done.
Gives us 10 days to find one, 10 days to heal one, and come back home.
There's 6 of you. There's 4 hired help. 10, so the 30 rations. Body of silver apiece. We 15 gold, Captain.
Alright. I will give him 15 gold.
Cool. Does anybody want to keep track of that? I'm more than happy to because I have been designated, or my NPC anyway has been designated quartermaster. So I just wanted to ask.
Sure, yeah, for as far as like crew supplies and just rations and all that.
I'm already tracking my let's say private supply
Okay,
rations
you check your private
of
supply.
in case of emergencies.
Oh,
Understood. I also need. Oh, I should mark this. Never mind. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, I'll mark off the 20 days worth of rations. So.
Arthur, do you want to keep? Do you want to gather as many from the crew right now to run this lure beacon idea by them, or should we wait till the morning? There, you seem to have a better grasp on it than I do currently. But...
Annoyingly, John would be really good for this with psychic whispers. I have no idea where anyone is, so maybe just leave it till morning.
All right, yeah, we'll present the plan then, and well, let's get ready for a long one, and it's worth saying now, it's gonna be lots of others hunting them down by all kinds of means. So I want to play it as respectful and peaceful towards the whales as possible. Because I imagine that's what the church wants out of us. And so let's be ready for that.
Um, 30 gold to Celine and Joran for the downtime.
Perfect.
I believe you still pay your crew during to keep their contract essentially.
All right. So there's 30 gold. And do I need to give the 15 on top of that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is 15 as well from me.
Okay. 15 from you. Who's
Yeah,
covering the other 5?
On the other it would be 15 and the 30, so 45 total from me.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Um, yeah, you might have a payday in current day now as well, because so yeah, I'll just say mark off another 30, and that will be and you'll be
Okay,
covered
perfect.
for another 5 days there, and you'll be good.
Perfect.
So, because I'm just doing it every 5 days, and the downtime went by pretty quick. Okie dokie. And Thelma is only going to be receiving 1 gold because she's getting room and board. Which is her name. The cook's name is Thelma.
Yeah, I was thinking for a second. I was like, oh, it's the cook.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So do you guys all wanna, this was the last day of shore leave designated by the captain, so maybe you guys all kind of meet up. You all start trickling in around this time, and you're gonna see this like straw blonde, like super thin, like inner 40s, like clearly he's probably been smoking since she was like 16, waitress looking lady. Like, hey, and that'll be her, the cook Thelma. And in stark difference, you are going to see the beautiful Dame Elara Moonshadow, who has like the sort of stars in her eyes and is gorgeous and has the symbol of Silene, has like stars sort of like painted across her face, and yeah, she's lovely. I'll give her this many actually because other than that,
Better color oriented.
exactly with the white hair and all.
I've read that the Selûnite colors are canonically purple and blue.
Makes sense.
And yes, I'm actually.
Are you a secret Silene? You don't even know about
The player? No, I'm
it?
kidding.
The player, yeah. I'm still working on her stats, but she'll say, "Hi, everybody. I'm Dame Elara Moonshadow, and I just wanted to say I think it is so wonderful and admirable that you're all going out to help the Kindori. They're such beautiful creatures, and I just can't wait to be a part of this adventure. I'm sure we're going to do really great things together."
Thank you for joining us. I'm sure I speak on behalf of the whole crew. We feel a lot more confident having someone of your expertise here aboard with us. So thank you.
Of course, I couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
No, absolutely. If there's anything we can do to make your stay easier, just please let us know. And we've had some discussions already on how we're going to approach this that we'd love your counsel on.
Oh, I would love to help in any way I can.
Awesome. And well, we're thinking we want to lure in as many Kindori as possible, for different specimens, different samples, different chances to heal. So how do we do that? We had we had a thought after if just sort of holding staff out there, see what happens. But
He goes, "Oh, that's so smart! Wow, they communicate with their eye light. So that's such a smart move. It's really cool. I do know that they like to stay away from the sun and the moons, most usually because their natural predators are lunar and solar dragons. So they try and stay away from there. Um, I
Ever
imagine they
like
all.
holding his like neck, like, oh, no.
Because and they also like to stay away from the more civilized planets because of the whaling. You
of
know,
course
so
I will.
obviously they try and stay away from places that are too civilized. So they wouldn't be near any major planets or
All
planets with any
right,
major sort of space jamming civilizations.
okay, so we'll stay away from. Seems as staying away from a solidified time. Seems the best route. They don't like when time ends and time begins. So and is there or ship, is there anything we could, lay out that might make us seem I know they're covered in plants sometimes. Should we put some plants around the ships to make ourselves seem more friendly, more habitable, Is there anything like that?
That's such a good idea. I'm sure they would love that.
So any specifics that we should lay what are their favorites? What's your favorite flowers?
My favorite flowers? Where do I begin? I love this, and she starts going into about like a series of plants. And like Celine will sort of, I'd be like, he goes like, oh she goes like, oh the lunar lotus. I've heard it. I've never seen lunar lotus. He goes, oh well, those are in the Feywild almost exclusively. Some people have gone and actually cultivate them in the material plane, but they are natively grown in the Feywild under the light of the full moon, which is very hard because it was no. I imagine it's very hard because it's a land of twilight. How
Celine,
does the moon come? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
no, the longer we wait, the more chances the bad guys have at getting the whales.
Right.
But
Sorry.
okay, so being ourselves more entwined with nature will help us. So I'm sure we can figure out something to lay around. But all right then. I appreciate all that, and let's all get ready for taking off. And,
Appreciate all that. Incredible. Yeah, and she goes, I completely agree. And being in nature will help everybody, just like spiritually too, you know? Let's get to it. And yeah, she could kind of go on the ship and
Right this
There-
way.
there's
Then.
a little-
We have guest quarters.
yeah. Celine's like a little like she kind of thinks that chick's great. You can tell like on her face. Yeah, yeah. Sweet. Is there? So yeah, you guys can go on board. I think she'd say, I as much as I agree, nature's like cool. I don't think it's gonna help us track Kindori as they don't actually eat anything. They don't have mouths. They feed off of like the astral sea itself. So that's how they stay.
Thank you. And, all right then. Oh, I'm feeling you're gonna be spell jamming for a lot of this, so
Understood, Captain. I'll do my best.
I've the utmost faith you will, and I believe stay away from perhaps Edgar, if you can route a good course there. We got to keep away from the sun and the moon. And by the way, I did catch about that lunar dragon, and we'll get to that when we get to it, Edgar. Okay.
I can assure you, I won't be salivating at the sight of a giant celestial whale. I'm above that kind of depravity now. Should I take out the?
You're an
Now,
8 out of 10, Edgar.
keyword.
An 8 out of 10. Yes, Epoxy?
Oh, sorry, question for DM.
Yeah, it's for me. No, I can't. Sorry. Yeah, go right ahead.
Just want to make sure we got things straight with my new ability. Is it,
Okay.
do I have to see the creature?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just to be specific. Bonus action magically creates a cycle with one creature you can see for the next hour. The bonus action of this creature for the next hour, you can learn its distance and direction. It's on the same plane of existence. So yeah, there's no limit to how much you can do this, but you can only have one target at a time, and you must be able to see them in order to create the link.
Within 1 hour of seeing them?
No.
Or-
You need to be able to. So like you need to be able to
Oh,
see them in
okay,
order
okay.
to create the initial link, and then for the next hour, you can track them pretty much unerringly as long as they're on the same plane of existence.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Well, I'll take up the Ori and kind of like be specifically looking for, I guess, an area that is away from any like celestial bodies, moons, planets, just totally just out in the wilderness.
Out in the wilderness, no problem. You go looking. Tell me about the orrery. Is there a specific range?
This portable arcane device automatically tracks positions and movements of all suns, planets, moons, and comets within that system, projecting a display of all these bodies in space of its current location. So it's like an entire
Yeah, it's for the whole system.
map. Yep.
You can start working on that. That's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
Why don't you make me, let's call it a investigation check to start peering through and trying to find it.
I'm rolling shit today. That's a 9.
9. You start working on it. The more you work on it, the lower the DC is going to drop.
All right.
Especially depending on your rolls. So there's sort of like a true success, and then there's like a success to like start reducing the DC. So you get to work on it. But it'll take some time. Start covering a little bit.
Pondering the orb for the next day.
Yes. And you start looking through it, no problem. Okie dokie then. Okie dokie. Sweet. Anything else anyone's got to do today?
Oof, I'm just a giant hunk of metal waiting for my quest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Giant hunk of metal waiting for your quest. It's not at all affiliated with anything evil or dark. So you just kind of you wait. No problem.
I'm assuming Chaplin and Zalace are with us, right?
Yeah. They'll be with you guys for sure. For sure. Alrighty then. Let's see here. Before we start, I think this is more for you than anyone, Bisan. I heard about this cool house rule that sounded pretty cool to do with longswords, because I'm of the express opinion that longswords should have a finesse quality to them. I like the idea that when it's wielded with 2 hands, it becomes finesse, and when wielded with 1 hand, it remains sort of a strength-based weapon. I'm kind of into that, right?
I hate that, but okay, if that's what you want to do.
I'm just kind of talking out loud. It makes sense though, because like it's hard to be precise with such a heavy weapon with 1, but 2 you can be more exact.
But a katana, like if you've handled those kinds of blades, you can handle them quite skillfully with 1 hand. They don't have to be wielded with 2 hands. You wield them with 2 hands for the extra power. 2 hands is for strength. That's why when you look at it, I am HO.
No, I know. That's all
down.
good. I'm just thinking. I'm not like holding a hard opinion right now. I was just thinking. Yeah, I'm gonna keep considering, but I'm pretty much the express opinion. Yeah, go ahead.
her dex, like her wielding two weapons, especially two longswords, is and taking that feat is kind of based on that being a finesse weapon. So if it's no longer a finesse weapon in one hand, then
Well, the sun swords will always remain finesse no matter what. They're finesse-based long swords, so that never is going to be called into question.
but I only have one.
I know. I'm just
And I don't
talking.
wanna-
I'm not making any. I'm not making any firm rules right now. I'm just talking out loud. But yeah. Okay. So, is there anything anyone else wants to do today?
What the heck? I'll give another shot at my sculpture.
Another. I'm gonna say that you've already. You could try and make a second one. Sure. Sure. Make me another check.
My third. I got a nat one.
And that one. Pretty much the same thing happens again. Where you like go up to like axe speed or something, you're like, look, and you made like a pretty decent bar. She goes, oh, that's better than the, and then the head just sort of falls off. And he's like, he looks at you, and it's almost like you're doing this on purpose. Sorry. And you're like, no, I swear I'm not. And it's again another little awkward moment there, but
Maybe this
yeah.
is the strength Baphomet cursed me with.
I'm too strong.
I can't be delicate anymore.
Fair enough. Yes, Basan.
So just so I'm understanding where we are in time, this is our first day. Sorry.
This is your first day back from downtime. So,
Right, so we're actually on the ship. We've had a long rest since we did things in town.
yeah, and everything we've done this session has been day 165, standard day 165 of the cruise, like coming together. So yeah.
If she has downtime then on this particular day, she wants to start working on a different animal, specifically a goat,
Okay.
with her just kind of continuing that practice. And she's
Got
going
it.
to start sketching, doing ink art in one of her journals. And the first thing that she's going to start working on is a depiction of the moon.
Okay. Yeah, you can. You haven't done much today. You just kind of picked up supplies. Sure, go ahead. Make me a. This will be painters more than anything. So give me painter supplies. Check. We'll call it dexterity.
Thank you. So I'm not proficient in painter supplies yet. I'm trying to lower my
so
hand,
just
by the way, and it's not letting me.
There you go. We'll just call it a flat dex. I'll give you charisma too if you want for like performance. So give me a flat dex or a flat charisma, whichever you prefer.
It'll be a flat dex, and thank you for allowing me to. Oh, damn, that's not bad. All right, so it's going to be 17 on the dice, plus a flat dex. My dex is a +5, so 17 plus. Is that 22? I think that's 22.
Okay, 22. Yeah, you put some work in today, and you put together something like I think proficiency is going to like you can roll like a natural 20, 25. If you're not proficient, there is going to be a level of skill that's sort of lost, obviously. But so for someone who is not like is just starting out, it comes out very well. It comes out pretty nice. Like it's very interpretable. Like you see the different, like, okay, that's this and that's that and that's this. It's a very distinguished painting, and it's cool. It's good. It's a very good start.
So that was all of her art will be done in ink. She's going to paper crane it since she's learned how to do that pretty quickly.
Okay.
And the next time she sees Etherith, she's gonna make it fly towards her. Magic hand. Just drop it on her lap. Drop it on their lap, I'm sorry.
Oh. Kind of looks at it, Impressive. Thank you. I'll find a place for it in my quarters.
I'm learning. It was practice. I saw her once.
Kind of like just tucks it into like into what do I put it? I don't have like pin like just like pins. I think it just kind of like sets it like goes into his room, kind of like sets it on like I don't know, like a little. Doesn't look like a desk or anything. What does Ethereth's room look like? What's
You
in there?
don't have a room to yourself. You would be in like a common crew quarter
Yeah.
with a hammock. So you don't really have a room to yourself. No. So
Okay, so
you're
that-
probably in like a. Let me see here. Oh well, these are all. Oh, that's possible. I need to go look at the other room. But yeah, you would have you'd be sharing it with somebody, probably at
Yeah,
least one
I
other
don't
person.
mind like having a shed room as well. Just like what does that shed room look like? Is it like they're at least somewhat respectful of each other's stuff?
Yeah, here, let me go to the Dawn's Eclipse and you can get like a very accurate idea of what the place looks like.
Roommates.
Roommate, sister.
And they were
Um,
roommates.
oh, they were
Oh
roommates.
my god.
So
they
there's
were
over here.
roommates.
This is like, I imagine you guys would almost want like this space to be for your NPCs, where the NPCs have to go like
Yeah.
all bundle up together, or the party could bundle up together. Ed has his own room. He's the only person on the ship list. Everybody else would be in
Captain's perks.
joint quarters. So actually, I'd probably take it back. You guys probably all have that upper room because there's enough space for everybody, and then there's only like enough. You can sit. You can be wherever you want on the ship. It's your situation. But there's like 2 to each room down here. There's also this spare room that hasn't been used at all. I'll say at some point Jordan was like, Captain, I just wanted to talk to you about the steerage room. As you might know, steerage on ships is usually meant to be a sort of nicer singular quarters for an MVP, a client you mean to transport in some level of luxury and comfort. So that's what the room was originally intended for, but as of now, it's a little empty. What would you like us to do with it?
I was thinking about turning it into a workshop, but
Craftsman
You know,
Station.
we do already. I think we have one of those. And
We don't have a crafting room yet, but if I might suggest, Cap, you had me empty out all the supplies in the armory, so this larger room right next to the other crew quarters on the main deck is open as well. It's certainly a much more room for crafting if you wanted to do that.
That's a great idea. That's and it serves a purpose there because yeah, let's do that. And that steerage room, let's pretty it up. Let's nicen it up. Maybe we could test it out with our paladin friend. Make sure they're fresh for any fights that might come. Because I do plan on, well, I after this job, you know, we are gonna get pretty diplomatic given circumstances. So I do plan
Like
on
it.
having.
All right. So just to
Absolutely, Gordon.
confirm, you want the steerage room to remain a sort of luxurious steerage room, and the old
Yeah.
armory will be turned into a crafting room.
Yes, sir. Thank
All
you for
right.
that.
I'll go start wrangling up supplies, and I'll give you the bill when I'm done.
And hey, I hope you tossed out your apron because got ourselves a top new chef.
I met the new chef. She's lovely.
Yeah, she has an acquired scent, but no reason to judge.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging. She might be my new ex-wife.
Oh. Lauren, I appreciate that. You well, you go get yourself comfortable and acquainted, and Thanks again for your suggestion.
Of course, Captain, here to help. And he will
I fucking love
he'll go start trying to figure out crafting for the room, and we'll start working on that. And I'll play around with it while we're doing our thing here. But in the meantime, so I'll have a question for you about how nice do you want it? Do you want it to just be like a number of tables and people can bring their own tool sets in, or did you want them to go out and actually purchase new tool sets for the crew to just have available and ready to go in that room?
For this ride here, I think it'd be like huh. I would say like kind of like modest back to school vibes. Like maybe he got one or two supplies for the ship itself that anybody could use if they need. I mean, Ed might even donate his own blacksmithing tools and like stuff there. But he likes to keep those handy. But it wouldn't be too excess, but it would be serviceable. So it'd be like there'd be like a desk if you want to work on your stuff there. There'd be like another one, and then there will be like at least two sets of tools, um, maybe two sets of Smith's tools or something like that.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead and mark off the cost of those then? So you said two Smith's tools. You go mark those off, and let's add an additional. Let's call it 5 gold for just like general furniture to be added to the crafting.
Perfect. So how much is that?
As for steerage, it is going to be a little bit nicer. Let's call that 30 gold to equip with finery and make it more comfortable.
Okay.
And you mean to let your new paladin stay in there?
Yes.
Very cool. Okay, understood.
And Ed's taking those from his private, so I just took off 30. I'm still pretty good. I what's it called? How much for the Smith's tools? For this for that price.
Bear with me. I'm gonna go grab those right now. We are looking at tools, Smith's tools. Smith's tools are 20 gold apiece. You might suggest, why don't I just have one captain? There's only really enough space. So maybe just have one set of Smith's tools in there?
Yeah. That's fine. So that's a 20 gold. I just really want I want any new crew members to feel like we've got our head attached on our shoulders, Absolutely.
Well, there ain't many ships that have crafting stations, so I think you'll already have one up on many.
Yeah. Who knows? I might have to go break the room in. Welcome it aboard properly.
Of course,
not like
Captain.
weird way or anything.
I didn't assume it would be weird until you said it that way, Captain.
It just sounded second thought. It's not like I'm
Right.
gonna like break orders there or anything, but absolutely. Thanks again, Jordan, for everything.
Just doing my job, Captain. No need for thanks.
All right. Is there anything? Any requests you have specific?
Me?
Any needs?
Not that I can think of. Just doing my job, as I said. I admit, I'm hoping for a bit of ambition on this in this here crew. I'd like to see you all reaching high, aiming high, and it seems like you already have plans in the works to get a better ship. I'd love to work on something like back when I was working in the Dwarven military, something more verbose,
Let's say, Thorin, that our aligned goals, we'll need a bigger ship and one that's ready for a fight. So
Glad to hear it, Captain.
Absolutely.
I know that I'm prepared to undertake whatever needs undertaken for such a ship. I've worked with some very large crews and will have no issue managing a larger a larger sort of unspecific NPC-based crew. Lots of people.
Absolutely. I thank you for that. We like I said, I hoping this is the first of many good deeds we do for all of space, and hopefully word gets around and we get some of that help returned in our favor. And so fingers crossed this will be the first of many, and hopefully everything goes well.
I'm sure it will, Captain. I'm sure it will. You got a good head on your shoulders.
Have you dealt with these Kindori at all in your travels? And I
It's
know
always
you
lovely
saw
to
the one
see.
with us.
It's always lovely to see them out in Wildspace, but no, I never personally had dealings with them other than watching them go on by.
Hmm. And then considering what these fishermen are gonna have as far as the tools go,
And you
we're
just
trying
say,
to
Captain, prepare yourself. The world is a dark place, and the Kindori have very expensive parts in their anatomy that are important to the spelljamming community. So prepare yourself for when you see things that might not be too kind on the eye that are being done to the Kindori. It's terrible what they do. Get me wrong, I don't support it in any sort of way, but it does happen. So just prepare yourself for that sight and what you might want to do about it.
well, I can I can relate to being hunted. I mean, perhaps I'll use that to drive my decisions.
As you say, Captain, and he'll give you a nod of the head, and he's going to go off. And by the end, he is, he'll have prepared for you a lovely new room. It's a little, the walls aren't draped with finery or anything, but it certainly is probably the nicer room on the ship, even nicer than yours.
Heck yeah. And Ed'll make sure that Dame is like comfortable chilling. He'll be standing like by the edge of the door, just not giving privacy, but
Yeah.
everything okay? We just had it all set up here, so we before returning to the Rock Brawl, the ship wasn't quite ours, so we're still making it. So if you see anything,
Just, oh, Captain, it is very comfortable. I don't usually expect such finery. I get a rough eye on charity mostly. I've spent a lot of time in the Feywild. I'm start getting accustomed to coins. Very interesting, but I really appreciate it. It's very comfortable.
thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it, and if you need anything, please let us know.
How can I repay you? There's a
Um,
there's always a trade that must be done, right?
that'll happen once we find these Kindori. We'll need everyone's best efforts, but if I can be honest with you, a lot of us are going to be leaning on you specifically out there.
Well, I am always happy to lend a hand. I am honor bound to help out anybody who needs to be brought a little life into their lives.
Absolutely, and that's an idea I can get behind myself. So it seems we already have our trade off there.
And
All
she just
right.
kind of smiles at you like with like big bright eyes, and she's just like she thinks you're the coolest.
Ed is going to be like, all right, I'm gonna go now, and he's gonna walk away.
Okay, bye. And
But-
and as you walk away, you might hear the sounds of like bouncing on the bed, like jumping up and down on the bed.
Oh, nice.
And yeah. Okay. Anything else anyone wants to do this day before possibly setting out? It is entirely up to you what you all wish to do. It's your
Imagine
game.
if Ed would have been like, I want 2 smites, criticals daily, nonstop. It's
Aye, aye,
like,
Captain. Just point me up what you want dead. As long as they're nice. I mean,
Ed'll
mean.
probably chill just like right outside his quarters, but just kind of like chilling outside the ship, getting ready to like getting his legs under himself before. So he'll be chilling out there for a while. So
Okay, just chill
anybody
outside.
wants to join him.
Understood, understood. A new crafting room has been established. We're gonna say Zalace and Chaplin are just busy doing small people things. And that's that. Yes, Apoxy.
I think Epoxy's just gonna be in the storage wherever that is as their room.
You're just
And
gonna. Oh, that's true. That's true. Chaplin and Apoxy don't really need rooms. It might be nice to have personal space, but other than that,
thank you, sir, but I don't need room. A room. Sorry, I do need room, but I don't need a room.
Sure about that? If you say so.
I just need to pace around the ship, make sure it's all ready and all right.
How'd your time on the Rock abroad go, Apox? I don't think I saw you at all.
Oh, there's been some difficulties with getting this new armor. Shows off the skeleton-esque looking rib cage all on them right now.
Oh, that's
Quite
I-
a copper coin.
yeah, I'd say so. If fits your spirit, yeah, if it fits your spirit well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just so I could pay back Zalace, I had to get a job, go to work, and ran into some cultists, joined their cult briefly, and then wonderful time really.
That's real. You know when I've been messing around with your drive recently, which I wanted to talk to you about that. I didn't know you were so funny and full of jokes. That's it's very cool that you're developing so well.
What do you
That's
mean?
well, that about the cult. That's clearly a, a joke that you just said, right?
Can I use can I use unerring tracker on Captain Ed?
you can. Largely, he will not be aware that it's happening. There's nothing in there that would state that they're. Uh, I'll leave that to your discretion, Apox. There's nothing in there that says that they would be aware, but there's nothing in there that says that they would be unaware either. So, what do you think? Do you think that your prey becomes aware that you are linked to them?
I feel like there has to be some primal intimidation coming from this ability, because it's eerie to have someone just looking from behind when you think someone's there. Something like that. Like,
Okay, I get you.
you're always being watched.
I will say that it's very subtle. It's very much like the hair standing up on the back of the neck, or it's like you feel like someone's watching you, but it's nothing that you can actually like put a finger on and say something is wrong. It's just like it just feels like a touch of paranoia. So in this moment, you're like, oh, that's really funny. And maybe it's more Apoxy's like sort of like looks at you in tandem with it, but suddenly Ed, you get this like sort of like goosebumpy feeling. If you could experience that as a Earth Genasi, you get this like sort of like a little shiver up your spine that almost is like it gives you this feeling of like watched or something's not quite right. It's too subtle to even comment on, but like you can't help but feel like ever so slightly perturbed, especially in the wake of like the pregnant pause that follows. It's like she made a shiver run up her spine.
Yeah, I have to go down to the storage to get some business done.
Yeah, of course. Well,
I'll see you later,
if you need
sir.
anything, of course. You're best of luck.
And as you walk away, Foxy.
Like,
go ahead. Go ahead, Ethra.
Little grains of the earth just like rolling down the back of his neck. Like...
And as for you, Apoxes, Ed walks away. It's like, it's almost like the Predator vision from the Predator movies, like as opposed to Alien versus Predator, where like you can almost like see thermally, but it's almost X-ray, and it's not a literal vision, but you can like you sense Ed's every move as it makes its way down the rope ladder and then down the hallway under your feet. You're like utterly aware of Ed's every move, even beyond sight or sound, and it's like it
I'll be able
feels
to
like
protect him
it
no
feels
matter
I like
where
predatory.
he is.
It feels like truly like primal and predatory. It's like you know where your prey is.
Sick.
Little like status window.
You'll
sort of
never
targets
leave
spinning
my
around.
sight.
It's got like the Eagle Vision Assassin's Creed thing where like you mark them and you can kind of like keep track of them and you kind of just walk and you always have a perspective on them. It's kind of cool.
I love it, dude. Apoxy is Ed's Brock Sampson.
But yeah, Epoxy goes down to the storage and meditates, and thinking they really don't have much to do with tracking, I guess. They'll go into that primal instinct of where would a Kindori be? Like how to find them. And if I could do some kind of check for that.
Okay, make me because you're especially now your mind is sort of steering towards the predatory, sort of like this beast thought. I'll make you. This is sort of like a survival check. Yeah, I'll let you do survival or nature, but definitely steering towards survival as you sort of
All right.
consider if you were hunting these things, what would you do?
In that case, this will be survival. I only got a 9.
A 9. Well, that sucks. You heard about the solar lunar dragon thing. The best you could come up with is like, you probably won't find them near a sun or a moon. And like basically what Moonshadow said, which was like, you're not going to find them around either places of great civilization or moons or suns.
Going in the dunce chair.
So maybe what Ethereth said made sense. The sort of like in between the larger civilized planets, perhaps.
Well, got the same amount of information as everyone else.
Ed's probably gonna keep doing rounds.
They kind of keep doing rounds and talking to everybody. And, the cook has gone to work. You walk in, there's like immediately like you open it, there's like a waft of like grayish, like tobacco smoke that comes out. You're like, and she's in there like cooking away, and she's like, Captain, it's good to see ya. And you can close the door immediately. And she's just working away, but there's definitely like a bit of a smell that comes from the galley. But yeah, you make your rounds, no problem. Alrighty then. Is there anything else you guys want to do today, or are you ready to hunker down for a long rest, or what's up?
God dang it. We're not rolling too well. We're resting.
Okay. I think Celine will say something to you, Captain. She goes, I had a thought, as far as tracking the Kindori goes, they said, I believe Dame Moonshadow said that they don't like the sun and the moons, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's only one sun in Wildspace. I think, I'm no tracker, but would it not stand to reason that if they don't like to be near the sun, they would be further away from the sun or more populated the further you go from the sun?
Yeah, that's how I'm assessing it, so I tend to agree.
And we did find out when we encountered Kindori, we did find them near the outer world. So perhaps the deeper we go into Wildspace away from the sun, the more likely we are to find them.
So I like the sound of that, and it's fitting because they're going to be more roaming, more into the wilder of wild space. So yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest. I was also gonna say, which on topic of this is, I appreciate you staying creative with it because something in our approach with the Kindori. I don't have any specific reason, just a hunch here, but if we appear more like them, just enjoying roaming, they'll they might be more receptive to us as opposed to we're honed in, tracking them right down. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's too bad. I almost wish that we could make our ship look like a whale if there was a way to do that.
Yeah. Well, maybe future ones we get out of here, but
Yeah, maybe one day. But I'll keep thinking of things. But just thought I'd pass that along if that's of value to you.
absolutely, that's a very good observation. So thanks so much for that.
Yeah, she'll kind of wander away. Okay, if there's nothing else, you guys can all settle into a long rest.
All right.
For the end of the day, and you'll get a long rest without any issue. There's clearly stuff to do. Oh, before we proceed, I was getting to it in the downtime. I kind of skipped over it. One thing that I make a mistake of all the time is lifestyle expenses because it costs money to be alive that we never dealt with. So Apoxy, you were good because your work paid for your own expenses, which wasn't much, and you made money off of that. So I just wanted to go around and figure out what everybody's lifestyle was like and how much that would cost. So let's start with you, Ed. Ed, what kind of lifestyle were you living during the downtime?
So Ed was like hunkered down, doing the schematics most of the time. So he probably like on the D&D equivalent of like water jugs and ramen noodles. You know what I mean?
Oh
He didn't do
no.
much
Jeez.
out.
So do we want to say like modest, which would mean like
Yeah, moderate,
it keeps you out of the slums and ensuring that you can maintain your equipment. Maybe
for
the
sure.
old part of town, renting a room in a boarding house or an inn. You don't go hungry or anything like that. Clean,
Yeah, I
simple.
would say modest for sure.
Okay, so that would be a gold a day. So mark off 5 gold for your downtime. Ethereth, what about you?
Modest.
Modest, okay, 5 gold to you, sir. And Basan?
Modest.
Okay, 5 gold. Okay, cool. So sweet. Yeah, you wake up all the next day. Yeah.
Etherith will change his lunar embodiment to full moon, so he now has white scales.
Very cool. Very cool.
Ooh.
So as Etherith wakes up this morning, Etherith's scales are maybe there's sort of like a shade between the actual. You can feel free to do the flavor if you want, Etherith. But I imagine Etherith is almost like looking a little bit more like a white dragon today than a black one.
Yeah. So lunar sorcery has like lunar embodiments, and I've previously kind of said that like each lunar phase that I use dictates what his scales look like. So he's been new moon the whole time, which is black, and now he's full moon, so he's just pure. He just looks like a white dragonborn now.
Whoa, dragon. You've changed again. You're back.
And it's purely for strategic reasons.
Oh,
For this specific quest. I need to be in full moon phase for this.
Cool. Sweet. I was just keeping track of my calendar here. All right, fantastic. So what do you want to do today? Are you heading out to sea? Are you gonna stay in the rock brawl? What's the plan?
Taking off, heading into the sea, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you be piloting, Captain?
I think for the first one, Celine, I'll pilot us, get us to that first, sort of like get us in there, because she
Got it.
was well, actually no, if we didn't do any traveling yesterday, I think Celine will start piloting, especially since she had that recent idea of where she thinks it would be a good starting spot.
I imagine, because Etherith, you are the Auror after all. I imagine Celine, Etherith, and Ed probably spend a lot of time sort of counseling to each other and together as to what to do next, where the next path is. You could invite anyone else as well. And just as a note about your NPC, Dame is her title, so her name is Alara Moonshadow. So that would be like calling them Sir, or calling them like Knight.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just so you know. But yeah, so you three can kind of talk. Just so I know, what is your course? Where are you heading, or where are you starting out at?
How about I continue my consultation of the orb?
Yeah, make me similarly. What exactly are you doing with the orb? Just so
I'm
very
trying
specific.
to find a spot, like, because obviously all planets have orbits. I'm trying to find an area that's pretty far away from the sun, but also is like away from any, planets. Effectively, the ideal location for a Kindori.
Got it. Make me a survival or investigation check as you look into the orrery and try and make an estimation.
That's better. 21.
And for what skill was that?
Investigation.
Investigation. 21. That's very good. You think, and you know what? I'll give you advantage just in case you do a little bit better because you are sort of consulting with everybody else, just in case.
Nah.
Okay.
Sense.
So you consult with the captain and Celine. They get the idea that, like, the further from the sun, the better, and also the further from the moons, the better. So your first thought about being between the inner and outer worlds is not a bad idea. And then the idea sort of rises that they like to stay away from civilization moons as well, which means that there's 3 planets on the outer worlds. Maybe you might want to, during your journeys towards that portion, if you wanted to explore further into the outer worlds, you could look at which ones have less moons and less civilizations, and it'll probably be more Kindori. Because there is, and Celine will bring this up because she's very, very smart. She says, well, Kindori do need to breathe, and they have their own air envelopes, which means that they will need to at least dip into atmosphere in order to refresh their air envelopes eventually. So as much as they don't want to go near planets, they're going to have to if they want to be able to breathe. So they'll probably be far, but not too far. No. Yeah.
Let's course the planets closest towards the outer skirts as they speak. The ones that you might be able to dip in and out of, perhaps a smaller planet. Is there any way we could get an idea of how civilized or uncivilized they might be? Maybe that.
Make me a history check to think about just how many moons they have and how civilized the last 3 planets of the system are.
That's a 14 plus 4, 18.
Can I roll that as well?
Yeah, feel free.
16.
16, so that was a 15 and a 16, if I'm not mistaken.
18.
18 to 16. Okay, you guys do very well. The planet of Glyph has a number of satellites. It has a ring, and I believe it has 3 moons. Let's see here. Satellites are good. Yes, it has 3 moons around it and a ring. As for civilizations on Glyph, it does have significant trade.
It's the Mind Flare neutral.
Yeah, it's the Mind Flare one. So there's probably a lot of activity around Glyph. So you probably imagine that they don't stay too close to Glyph. Yeah. The next planet is known as Garden, which is very large and to be more naturalistic. And as far as inhabitants and trade go there, any trade happens on the moons of Garden, and Garden has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Many moons. It has a great many moons that satellite the planet, but not a lot of civilization. Any trade happens on the moon. So probably maybe not Garden either. Last one is Hakatha. Hakatha does have a number of nations to them that lie on the actual planet, but it only has 2 moons. So they're all have their own levels of civilization. Yeah, they're fairly civilized, these last 3 planets. But Garden has the most moon. Glyph has only 3. Hakatha has, I believe it only has like 1 or 2. I think is what I said.
Let's go to a
Yeah, it is 2.
I agree. I believe Hakatha is the best choice. However, I don't necessarily recommend landing. If you recall, I may have heard it said before. It's largely inhabited by beholders, and we didn't want to repeat of last time we saw a beholder.
Yes, of course. I'm hoping we stay far from landing. And, I'm hoping that if we do find Kindori there, we can pull it and ourselves into the outskirts and handle business there. But until then, let's see what we find over there, shall we?
Very well. I shall plot a course now for Hakatha.
All right. Take us there, Celine.
So aye. And there will only be 3 days to reach the to get past the inner worlds into that like large bar between the inner and outers. So you guys take off and have 3 days. All the while keeping an eye out for. Yeah, go ahead, Epoxy.
Can I do active perception checks while we're just going through the trip?
Yes. Yes. So I'll tell you what. We're gonna call it passive for the sake of if you're just standing around like fully functioning as like a crow's nest kind of individual, I'll give you the roll. Go ahead and make a perception check for the day.
Rad. That is my second nat 1.
You're like, I will. So here's what I'll say. It's long since worn off, but I'll say you're just like too focused on how like great it felt to use like the unerring tracker. You're just like feeling real. Like there's something. It's like you got a little shiver up your spine. It's like it's that sort of like I really shouldn't, but it felt so good kind of thing. Where you're just like
Just
a little too
oil
focused on
running
it.
down the mouth.
Yeah, it felt like it felt really good as like a tracker to be using that power, that bestial power, and you feel your circuits almost like beginning because the more you experience, the more awake you're getting, the more experience you're getting, the more combat systems you access. You get the sense that like having this power inside of you is sort of like
what is this insatiable need to hunt?
To hunt. Maybe it's your circuits, maybe it's something else. Who knows? But you're just a little too focused on that today. And again, interrupt me anytime you need if you have stuff you want to do while going about. Yep.
Real quick. I don't want to push it, but can I do one like for every day we travel?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
I don't want the nut ones to curse me.
Got it. So you guys go to traveling. I'm gonna like I think I've been allowing some downtime while you guys were just traveling in space, but I'm gonna say for the sake of like keeping everything running and operating smoothly, I'm gonna like forgo that and just say you guys are all functioning duties, whether it's maintaining the artillery, swabbing the deck, following the captain's orders, plotting routes, whatever it is, you guys are busy as a crew. Now, if you guys were to upgrade and have a ship that has like a larger crew that can maintain some of those duties, I might be more willing to do that. But as long as you guys are the main bulk of the crew, you're gonna be a little busy. Okay, so kind of good news. You guys might run into something today.
Thank goodness.
well, actually tonight while you're all sound asleep in your beds. I'll say nothing happens. There were scavers, which again are those like space sharks. As you guys are, yeah, it's fine. You just sail by because cruise speed definitely lets you pass, and they're not big enough to pull you out. Keep going. Day 2. Roll me a perception check, Epoxy.
Oh, nat 20.
And that's 20.
What are my chances?
This is very interesting. Epoxy. As you guys are traveling through Wildspace and you're at the bow, maybe some people are like, oh, that Epoxy, so silly. Because you guys are moving at like cruise speed. You guys are moving at like light speed. Like there's not much you can catch or pick up on while doing that. But as you're like looking out and keeping an eye on the stars and traveling, Epoxy, you're going to have a strange experience. You're going to, you have used these psychic powers to connect with Ed that you were given as a boon to connect with him and track him. And you can't help but like you felt different ever since you've used it for the first time, the psychic power. And in this moment, almost similarly, like connecting with someone else, you connect with something more, not intentionally, but something more. And you sort of hear almost like through the winds of the astral sea, this sort of, it sounds like it's a whistle on the wind, but that wind almost becomes a wail, which seems natural, but you almost find something at the edge of the wind. And your natural 20 is good enough that you could swear that there's words at the edge of the wind. Something that you can't hear with your ears or your circuits, but something within here.
Oh no,
What do you do?
I'm malfunctioning. Can I roll an insight on myself?
You can roll an insight on the situation, sure.
Oh, what is my insight? 13.
13.
What is
You
going
know,
on?
like there's this concept that like fleshy humanoids can go crazy, but you were built, so at worst you could malfunction. But you don't think picking up something on your sensors is a malfunction, maybe an expansion of some kind. So things work differently for you. If we could use the word biologically than it would for, say, Ed or Ethelred or Hoop or Bassarn. So you picking up on these things, it could be that your like audio sensors are like out of tune. Make me a medicine check as you sort of like do a self-scan.
Whoa. 17.
17. You sort of like pull up your audio sensors just to sort of like manually look at like the audio waves, and you're not picking up anything that you're experiencing on audio waves. So there's clearly nothing to be heard. But you do pick up like your brain waves, like your essentially like central processor like functionality, basically like the use of like your GPU or whatever. And it is functioning at a higher than normal rate, but you're also like, I'm not using any of my higher functions. So you basically are able to analyze yourself and recognize that there is probably a secondary source that is influencing your GPU and is inputting data into your mind, is how you would interpret it. There's some secondary source that you're picking up on somehow. But your body isn't able to, you're in your medical assessment, you're not able to figure out what of your many senses is actually picking up this entity, this secondary source. But it's like a rogue frequency almost.
I have to check in with Ed later. I can't be having my energy wasted.
So you dismiss it for now, or do you intend to investigate it in some way?
I'll dismiss it for now, because we are still on the lookout.
Got it. You decide to shake your head and focus on the horizon. and you watch the astral waves, and you see some of the coloration in the astral waves almost sort of like seem away, and you're not sure what that was, but you'll check in on that later maybe. But the moment you sort of like let go of it, you find your GPU levels beginning to return to normal, as if whatever that rogue wave of information was passes you by. Okay. Rest of the day goes by without issue, and that night goes by without issue. Another long rest is had if required. On the deck, like moon shadows, like like throwing flowers around. It's like I don't know, like decorating the ship a little bit. She's just told to incorporate some nature. You have no idea where she got this like vegetation from, but she's like, it's kind of like decorating a little bit.
Ed's into it.
Yeah, you're like, all right. But nothing bad happens today. Nothing's going on. And that will be a clean night for you as well. I'll tell you what, Apex. We will assume you're making perception checks. I will have you roll perception checks if something interesting could possibly be seen, just to speed things along. So we assume you're making your rolls, but I'll only have you making a check if it might be required. But I know that you're looking.
All right.
All right. At this point, you guys have reached it to the edge of the inner worlds. You've made it past that sort of initial circle, and you're kind of in that large space between Capri and Glyph. Glyph is 10 days from the sun, and Kendos is 4 days. So that means you guys have about you have about 4 days until of just like empty space before you reach Glyph's orbit. Now there is something to note is I kind of, orbits is a whole thing, right? Like they spin around the sun, and we all know about that. I kind of just like make it that Ethereth plots the route so as such that you guys sort of intersect with the planet and land on it. If you guys wanted, you could always like check the rotation of the planet like in opposition to it. So you could check the orbit away from the planet itself once to look around there. As a note, nothing you need to worry about right now, but I just wanted to point out how I was functioning with orbits. Okay, so is there a plan, or are you guys just going to continue to make it towards the outer worlds and see what happens? What's the plan there?
I think we're gonna make it to the outer world, see, because it's kind of like the first spot we're trying to find one in, and that's the goal right now. Is just seeing if like what we're deducing, putting together the information we have, seeing if this gives us a good starting point. We may very well get there, and they're just like, here we are. At which point the plan will be to pivot to another. Okay, maybe we should track them this way. Maybe once we get there, Earth could do one of these and see if that'll make any initial contact. Maybe talk with the dame and see if there's any sort of flashes that are friendlier in nature. Have those ready, but really we want to make sure that we have a bit of a subtle entry here. Where we don't want the Kindori to feel hunted. And we also don't want the planet's home here to feel, get any of our attention, to be honest. So
got it. So here's how we'll do things. How best to do things. So random encounters, how random encounters work is basically I roll 2 dice a day and one in the, how random encounters work is you roll a dice for every 8 hours that passes. So that's, sorry, my brain's not working. That's 3 dice you roll a day for every 8-hour segment. And then anything on 18 to 20 is considered an encounter, possible, like an encounter will be in your path. Because you're actively seeking the Kindori, I am going to do it a little different because Etherith is, looking at the orrery. I'm going to extend the random encounter range to 16. And if you guys bump into anything from within 16, I'll just, so I said to double it, it's 18, 19, 20. So we'll do 14. And anything you find within a 14, 15, or 16 is probably going to be a Kindori at this point. Or you know what? I'll begin to increase that the further away from the sun you go, because that is what we said. Yes.
I was going to suggest to the captain and character that we stop off on Glyph and Garden just to like ask about Kindori sightings to get a better sense of like where they've been.
Yeah.
Got it. So I will extend the range. The more information, the more likely it is that you're going to run into them based on how you're going about your hunt. Incredible. I also need to mark off how much food or when the food started to go away, which was on 7 SD of your journey. Which means you would have had 20 days of 7 SD. So on the 27th, cool. Okay, so sorry, Ethric, what planet did you guys want to land on to look for Kindori sightings?
Captain, I thought we might stop off on Glyph, see if we can't gather some information, see if there have been any sightings, do a bit of resupply just in case.
And refresh my memory. Who's down in Glyph?
Glyph is a neutral outpost for trading. It's run by mind flayers, but rest assured, it is neutral ground. No fighting to be had. Just pure trade.
It's where we believe we found apoxy in neutral ground. So
it's quite a hub,
right.
though, so good chance of maybe getting at least maybe one eyewitness of Kindori.
No, you're right. It's and I suppose for me personally, it could be a bit of a test. So, well, but it is neutral ground, so I don't see why not. We could get a lay of the land, see who else might be on the exact same trail we are, if anyone. So it's a good idea. Let's gather the crew. We'll set up landing.
Very well. Then I gotta like do the Tony Stark thing and adjust the ship course for landing on Glyph.
In a second, I just want to check something out about real quick. Some information.
Ed, sir, this place looks familiar. Where are we?
Actually, epoxy. Above the table. This was where we found epoxy.
Yeah.
This is where we met you. But
Oh no! Wait, don't they have Illithid?
Yes, but it's neutral ground, so we're all in our best behavior, including them. I understand reservations. I have my own, but
It's just our adversaries are out there as well, so our chances are possibly likely that we'll see them here.
well, it's the benefit of neutrality is that we're all under the same thumb, as it were. So, you know, if they were to act out of line, they'd be in a lot of trouble, and we'd have the benefit of, well, if we stay neutral. But believe me, Epoxy, I get it. I don't want to spend as much any more time than we need to here, but Edriff is right. We need more anything that can get us closer to these Kindori or give us an idea of what challenges they might be waiting for us. And I think it's worth at least touching upon, if only for a little bit.
I want to give a clarification about Glyph really quick, not to interrupt. Just so I'm getting my lore correct, guys. So where, and this was most certainly my fuck up with the lore, but it's still very similar. So Glyph belongs to the Illithids, and there is a saying about Glyph itself. If you land on Glyph, you are now cropped. Because it is ruled by mind flayers. It is a world ruled by mind flayers, where mind flayers war against each other, and anyone who lands on Glyph, there's like a 90% chance you're going to get captured by the Illithids to become their thralls. So Glyph is very much like an evil Illithid planet.
So we're just kidding, you know, it was just
as, but there's the thing. The moons, there are 2 moons. The one closest to Glyph itself is called Haven, which is a neutral meeting ground for different warring factions on Glyph. But those are for the Illithid to fight against. But as for the neutral ground to trade on, that still exists. That is the furthest and largest moon, known as Mingambu, M-I-N-G. So it's probably Mingabwe. I don't know. You can decide how you want to say it. But it's spelled M-I-N-G-A-B-W-E, which similarly functions, as I've always said, as a neutral ground where everyone is welcome. Mind Flayer, people from other worlds to conduct trade. It is very sparsely populated, very cold, and people come to do trade there in a neutral grounds with the Illithid, with whoever else wants to be there. And it's so big, it has its own moon that rotates around that moon. It has its own orbit. So that's the lore. Everything we've done still exists, but anytime you have landed to do trade, it has been on this moon of Mingabu. Just so you know. Yeah, slight retcon. Doesn't change anything that's happened in the plot, but it's Mingabu.
Oh, it's landing on Glyph? No, that's a terrible idea. I meant the moon.
Get us out! Get us out!
I would never do something so stupid as to.
So now that you've landed on Glyph, I want to make a quick correction.
No, we're just going to one of the safe, relatively safe moons.
You rest me.
Ever land on the planet itself, will be.
Regardless,
our brains will be on the platter in no time.
I don't even know if I have a brain, but I will make sure it stays on my head.
The Illithid will be eager to find out if you do.
Well,
I will stay by your side, Captain. I will not leave you for a moment.
much appreciated. And well, let's get this through. We'll be quick about it. Gather information. Any sort of quick restocks we can. Let's maybe replenish any rations and the like. And let's get back to it as soon as we can. Yes, Apoxy.
If now, I'm not sure what's going on with me, but if we find a weaver, may we get it?
Not sure if we can carry a weaver. Can we carry a weaver here?
Jorn would say, "Well, Cotton, we have the lower storage space above the." Sorry, Captain, just going through the many tabs. There we are. Aye, so we have the cargo door, or excuse me, we have the cargo hold in the actual belly of the ship that is down there. But as for the actual cargo hold to the back of the ship, and I'll just visualize it on the map here. So back here, we're using it as cargo space right now, but we can use the belly for cargo. And if you wanted to turn this into a personal vehicle and landing pad, it does have cargo doors at the back, because we have used. So it could be altered into a personal vehicle landing pad if you wished.
Well, I mean, we will need a herder once we find these Kindori, so that's such a very good idea, Apoxy.
Yes, I had no selfish reason for wanting a weaver. It was purely tactical.
Of course. Well, let's keep an eye out. If we find one, think that'd be a splendid idea.
Right, I'll start making plans to alter the cargo hold space into a personal vehicle hangar. All
Is
right.
did Zalace come down with us?
Oh, there he is. I've been awoken from his nap.
I
Uh, morning.
I'll give a nod to Zalace, get to like an eye level here, and Zalace. Something I've been meaning to run by you is we need someone with an eye for fortune, wealth, basically someone to tell us what we have and what it's worth. And I know I've already asked you a lot, but if you can do that, focus in on, I don't know, maybe jot down, and especially in locations like this when we get prices, maybe offered here, keep them in mind when we go elsewhere. Basically, I know you know your way around good fortune, so just keep an eye out for us.
Of course, Captain. We'll have a deal. I'll do my best. I'll keep an ear out.
Right on. And it gives him a real like bro pat because I trust the lace a lot.
I catch you.
Above the table there is basically like an appraiser because I was thinking about that when we had tarmac, which is like we should probably have someone to be like, oh yeah, that can run us this. And I don't know. So
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm gonna have to above the table. I'm gonna have to try and find something about whether I can identify stuff. But we'll see if I can find something. Okay.
All right. Okay, so you guys have currently traveled 4 days, and yeah, you got some stuff to figure out, and you've been doing a good job sort of getting appraised. Why don't we take our break? It has been 2 hours, and we will come back in a couple minutes. Cool.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, governor.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
My volume's way too high. It scared me when you said that.
Hello, governor.
Want to take on the bobbies?
Oh my god.
Put some shrimps on the barbie, then. I think that's more Australian.
Nah, the bobbies are the cops.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Please, sir,
I
give me
always,
the sixpence.
I actually struggle with Australian. I gotta really emulate my Steve Irwin.
If you watch enough Our Flag Means Death, you might be able to emulate some New Zealand, the Kiwi.
Yeah.
Go to the gift
So I
shop.
gotta put something to you guys that I think is great. Yeah, I've been like working with language a lot lately with different different races and what their languages mean, and trying to like associate maybe some real world languages with
Are
fantasy
orcs?
to enhance it. Yeah, so one that I was actually talking to Soraya about that I thought was hilarious. Was also, I was like, what about the small races like halflings and gnomes? I'd always done halflings like kind of Irishy, and it came about with the idea that gnomes are Italian. I thought that was
Yes!
I thought that was such a great idea.
I've
I
been
love the
seeing
idea.
so many like Italian gnomes from so many podcasts that I'm listening to. One major one being NADPod, or Not Another D&D Podcast.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
I'm loving the voices that are incorporated for a lot of the races actually.
I'm from
No.
Jersey, so whenever I think of like Italian, I immediately think Italian American, which is different, total different beast.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are we like old school Italian, or are we Italian American? Because they're not the same. Exactly.
I don't know. I guess like regular old Italians, I guess.
I like that for gnomes.
I've made one gnome embassy I had was he had like a sort of vaguely Spanish and
Wait.
Italian accent. Alan knows Gusto Fortune Seeker. He was a
Yeah.
little sort
Yeah.
of Spanish Italian thing, and I had Callum Cord Striker was like a proper like New York
Italian
gangster.
American.
Yeah.
It was there's like that meme I've seen it around for years that is like there's like this little Italian kid in swimming classes and he sneezes and he's like, what? No bless for gazpacho or something like that. That meme always gets me.
So the languages I've got so far figured out, I'm pretty sure like 90% figured out. Gnomish is going to be Italian. Bothi, which is like the language of Uthgard in Tyril, is Frisian because it's a close dialect to English, and that's what Bothi is supposed to be. I'm thinking Elvish is probably going to be like Sindarin from the Tolkien universe. I was thinking about doing whatever the Q one is, but that's supposed to be like more, I don't know. Giants is Norwegian. Sylvan is Gaelic. Those are the ones I've got figured out so far.
Can I have a request?
Yeah, of course.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but Spanish orcs.
Spanish orcs.
It's-
I've seen
it's-
it coming out on the new books. There's like a big aesthetic thing with that.
Yeah.
If I might make a suggestion, Draconic
Yeah.
could be Welsh.
Who?
Welsh.
Who could be Welsh?
Draconic.
Draconian?
I actually have a pretty good Draconic translator that is like
Yeah.
that is pretty thorough. That's the thing I want is like I'm fine using like fantasy race translators as long as they're thorough. They're not like
Yeah.
only have like 5 words. So I have a pretty good Draconic translator that I like to use.
What infernal? Infernal should be Latin.
Oh my
Actually,
God,
I thought
yes.
Celestial to be Latin.
Maybe like both, because they're both like kind of like
I think
That's
it's
just heaven
mostly
and
about the
hell.
tone.
because like it's Dante's Inferno and all that jazz.
Right. So maybe I have a pretty good Infernal and Draconic and Infernal and Abyssal translator too.
Really?
where it works pretty well. I could like put anything in there and then translate it. I could put in like
You know
nonsense
what?
words and I'll put it in there.
I think no. What are Drow's alignments?
Drows are
Uh,
generally evil, but that's because they
typically evil.
worship Lolth.
That fits just right for Spanish.
I actually have been recommended and done it a couple times with French. But I don't know. I'm not committed to it. I'm not committed to French.
But like Drow kind of, I mean, if we're talking like Drow, like Underdark Drow, those would probably speak this kind of the same as Grey Dwarves and Grey Gnomes because they're all that's just undercommon, I think.
Yeah, they all
Oh,
speak
shoot, you're
Undercommon.
right.
I know that the description of Undercommon is supposed to be like alien and evil sounding, and it's typically referred to like black speech from Tolkien, which is like what like Sauron speaks like from the Ring and all that stuff. So
Oh,
I had
wow.
half a mind to just do that, to just do like Tolkien black speech for Undercommon. I need to find a good translator for it, but I'm looking into that. Anyway, well, why don't we get back to the game? Because, but I appreciate all the info. Yeah, let's talk to it. So, you guys have traveled 4 days already. Big RP section. Nothing wrong with that at all. Is there anything? Well, I'll just simply say if there's anything you have to do, interrupt me at any point. Feel free during the travel, and we will begin to seek Kindori. So I'll tell you what, Ethrith, make me another investigation or survival check now that you've made it to sort of empty space.
May I do one as well?
13.
I'm
God.
going to let this be Etherith because he's the Auror and not his. And he has like basically a map of Wildspace. What did you get there, Etherith?
13.
13. Okay. That'll affect like the chances of possibly running into one.
I did suggest before the break of landing on not the Glyph anymore, but rather
it's Moon.
Haven.
It's Moon. Not Haven.
Not Haven. It's called.
Darn it.
It's ironic that the one neutral place would be like the hardest to pronounce. It's called like Mingobwe is what it's called.
Mingobwe.
Yeah. So land on Mingobwe, which is where you've all been to before. Be very quick.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. You're making your way to Mingobwe. Yeah, you better believe it. That probably hunts Kindori. I don't imagine that would be beyond their moral stations. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see how your day goes. That was pretty fast. A moment here.
I'm making a sculpture of myself this time. These are poopy. That is a 7.
Damn, guys. Something is happening.
Fish on.
Something is happening.
I used to mainline that show on Animal Planet called River Monsters.
Oh, I freaking love that.
This show's so good. Like when he would get into it, and that's what I feel like we're doing today.
Guys, I got some really great news.
Oh, if I need...
and now that my size modifier is working, I can make them properly sized too.
Yeah.
Now we haven't quite figured out what happens now. Like we've just been focused on looking for them. Admittedly, Ed has been thinking like okay, the Weaver suggestion was good, but we don't have one right now.
I'm just trying to make them properly sized to give you like accurate idea of what they look like because it's immersive and it's fun.
Oh yeah.
So we're going for 8x8, I think, which might be a little too big.
I'm sorry, what's the Selenites' names again?
Her name is Dame Alara Moonshadow. So her first name is Alara, last name Moonshadow, and her title is Dame, which is basically a female knight.
Alara.
Okay, we're doing 6.6 for these guys.
I said the wrong name. I said Selena. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound
No,
right.
that's your that happens
That's
to be
my wizard.
Yeah, that's the
Whoa.
wizard.
Moonshadow?
That's right.
That's the paladin.
Who's the paladin? Yeah, let's have two little guys. I got my picture over here that will be very telling. I'll just do exactly what this picture's telling. We'll do like a full pod. Let's do a full pod.
Oh.
Okay, so you guys are pulled per the direction of Ethereth. You're like, I'm pretty sure they're over here. We'll take a little look around. And as you're traveling, lo and behold, you will pull yourselves out of Wildspace, and within the mile range, so fairly far out in Wildspace, you are going to come upon a large pod of Kindori that are just sort of wailing through Wildspace together. And you sort of see them off in the distance within a mile of you. And they don't shy from all of you, but they don't come towards you either. They just kind of continue on their path. And Moonshadow's like, oh. She thinks they're so cool. She goes, there, look at, wow. She is like losing her shit. She thinks they're the coolest thing in the world, and they are. What's the plan? What's the plan, crew?
Scouting out for unhealthy ones.
Keep it relaxed. We don't want to appear too aggressive or anything. After if grab a team, you'll be getting their attention, and let's get to work.
Very well. Miss Moonshadow, would you please join me? I'll need your expertise for this.
Of course. So she'll join you after it. Yep, Slice.
Yeah. My psychic whispers go up to a mile, so I can reach out to them like I have done before, and just explain what we're doing and what we're trying to help them with, and see if any of them are afflicted.
Okay, make me a persuasion check to try and speak to these somewhat but not fully intelligent creatures.
Can I help by kind of doing like light signaling with my staff?
Yeah. I want you, Etherith. This is going to be a separate check, and I'm going to give you advantage because Starshade is going to attempt to help you. Because they have their own code. It's not Morse code, but you know what I mean. Make me. Let's call it. Sure, we'll do a persuasion check as well. Make me a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage because Starshade's helping you. So coming back to you, Zalace. What'd you get, Zalace?
6.
You're having trouble you're communicating with them. You know you are, but they seem unresponsive for some reason, which is concerning unto itself. They're not like blinking at you or anything. What about you, Ethereth?
26.
26.
Whoa.
You're flashing a light. What signal are you trying to portray? I'll say at this point, like very simple, like statements. Hello, goodbye.
More or less, I'm sort of keeping it. I'm trying to keep it as I'm trying to like follow the path of like general conversations. This will just be a greeting to try and get their attention. Hello.
All right,
Starting
you kind of
really simple.
Make the flashes. You start with a hello with a 26. To your perhaps like childlike satisfaction, certainly to Starshade, who's like, whoa, they will begin to blink at you in a sort of like almost like a wave with their like white eyes, as if to say hello back.
The joys of communication. And Guess I'll do some more flashes to try and like indicate like may we approach.
Yeah, like friend question mark. Go ahead and
yeah,
give me the
friend.
same roll.
With advantage or just a normal?
Yeah, with advantage. Star sheets help. Yeah.
19.
A 19. You say like may we approach. They would start portraying back to you signals that are a little more complicated that you're not able to interpret. They don't change their path or anything, or like you don't take it as a no, but you're like they're trying to communicate something a little bit more complex, and you're not sure what it is, and that is star shade. I want you to make me an insight check.
Alrighty. Normal roll, yeah.
Yeah.
19.
A 19. In the wake of this, I want you, anyone who wishes to, can roll me a nature check to sort of like look at them, a nature or survival. But like look at them and like look at their patterns and see if they can glean anything interesting out of it.
15 on my survival.
15,
19 on nature.
15, 19. Okay. So as Ethrith is like trying to communicate this, and your insight's going to pass, Ethrith, and you kind of portray this to the party, which is going to trigger their checks, and they will learn what you think you know as well, and they'll confirm it. The formation in which the pod is moving, they're surrounding one of the larger Kindori, and it's very protective. It's very like we're protecting or keeping an eye on this fifth member of our pod. You get the sense that they are worried about this fifth member of the pod for some reason.
Assure them we're here to help at the roof. Which is what we're here for.
I try to indicate aid or help.
Yeah, I mean, another persuasion check will give you advantage.
Please. 22.
22.
Hot.
There was a number of flickering between all of them, but it's from like eyes where they sort of like move around each other and kind of flicker at one another, and you can sense they're communicating. A little more complex than you're able to keep up with. Largely, you get the sense like relaying the message. Eventually, they say they basically give you like another like wave of blinks, as if to say like it's a positive. It's like an affirmation. It's like a hello or thank you or yes. And you get the sense that you've been given permission to approach their pod.
Okay, bring us in very slowly. No sudden bursts of speed or anything. We must maintain good relations.
Now hang on. While you take us there slowly, Saline, I get the dame to be as close to the forward side. We want her to be the first one seen. No offense out there, but you know, just in case they they need to feel as at home as possible.
Unfortunately, I'm the one with the staff, so
I'll be on the cargo.
I'm the only one who can converse with them.
Well, you know, stand next to her shoulder. You know, just not telling you to get away, but
wait, I have an idea. I cast Alter Self on myself to turn into a human.
All right, you cast Alt, and for all of you, it's like, oh my god. As Ethrith casts this, and like Ethrith's like scales almost like unfold and like flip to the top, and then see. Oh, go ahead.
The exact appearance of Etherus, like human alter ego, is like there's like there's sculptures of like ancient Greek philosophers with like the big beard and stuff. That.
Oh my goodness! Don't you have one?
Of course I do.
That's crazy.
Greek dude.
Yeah, man.
My goodness!
Bam! Look at him. Fucking Socrates just showed up.
All right, Ed, sir, I'll be down in the cargo.
Yeah, Ed'll nod to Apoxy. All right.
Okay.
Take us in there, Saline. And keep it playful. Again, we don't want to exert any pressure we don't need.
Playful, Captain?
Yeah, that means right in there, sort of like how they're doing, you know, just take it a little floaty.
Oh, okay, like kind of join. Okay, I understand. And she'll indeed take it in nice and slowly. She'll go actually like underneath them, so as not to be like pointing, and then yeah, she'll kind of like smooth out the ship so it's kind of like underneath the pod and kind of like joining in the flow of which direction they're going. So I will move the pod to sort of represent where Celine is like pulled you guys all into, which is very fun in my opinion. Where essentially they're basically just like right above you.
Oh my, they're rather large.
They are, and as you get close, they're like 70 to 60 feet long from tip to tail. They're big, beautiful creatures. So they get close, they kind of above you, and like you get the sense it's not like full communication, but they kind of like they have three eyes along either side. They're kind of like winking the first ones as if to say like hello, hello, hello.
I'll just say one thing.
Yep.
Other than Etherif and the name, and Chaplain, if you don't have to, stay indoors. And if one of them is sick, we don't want anyone unneeded getting possibly, infected. So
Got it. So you command the crew below decks. Do you go below decks, or is it just Etherith and?
Oh no, it'll stay out there. That's more for like Zalace, Basan. Like if they're not healing, we don't need to risk them getting sick. Apoxy, Joran,
Got it. Yeah,
but
anyone who can't. Yeah, anyone who doesn't think they can actively help. Fair enough. Does anybody stay who thinks they can actively help? Okay, so it's just Etherith and Celine. Got it. So, or sorry, Etherith and Ilar. My apologies. So yeah, you guys kind of sail right out from under them. And to be clear, like you guys aren't blind to the situation. You kind of like look out the windows and see them up top, and it's still very cool. But yeah, they're sailing. And Laura looks up. She give me a second as I look her over. She's got a little medicine skill, so I'm pretty sure she does. Yeah, she does. Okay. So she'll look up and she's gonna kind of like try and medically assess them. You can see she's kind of struggling to do so. She's like, I'm trained, but I'm fast. But let me see here. She's kind of like looking around up at them. She kind of like stomps on the deck twice and goes, can you get a little bit closer, just a touch closer? It's too bad the cleric isn't here. He's such a great guy. And the ship will kind of like move just ever so slightly closer until it's just barely flying above, not touching so as not to screw up any gravity planes. But as she looks at the middle one, Etherith, why don't you make me a medicine check as well since you're there? And you can too, Captain. We'll kind of work together. Now one, okay.
4 + 1, 5.
Damn, guys, this is not good. She'll kind of look up. That's not good. Everything seems fine, I guess. She's like, I don't know why, and all three of you are like, I don't know why they're sort of like guarding this one. What's wrong with it?
Wait, let's ask Chat what Chaplain would do. Is our cleric here, Chat?
He's just listening, I think.
He's just listening, busy. I'll tell you what, because I'm sure Chaplain would like to if Chaplain were here. Well, we'll say he's out on the deck for being an auto-no, he won't be sick. So we'll allow Chaplain to make a medicine check. And he's pretty good at it. Chaplain rolls an 8. But he has guidance. Let me see if we can complete that to a 10 at least. And indeed we do to an 11. And he goes, oh yeah, that one right in the middle there. I mean, it's a little hard to see because the eyes glow so much, but I think it's got some of that like black stuff that they were talking about back at the temple. And as you guys like
Great
look a little
impression.
closer, you have to like look through indeed like the glow that kind of obscures it. But as you do see that the middle one does almost like black ichory tears in a way, and it's more dry to the face. But you do see that the
No.
middle one is plagued.
How far am I from this Kindori, specifically me?
You, my Greek philosopher friend, are about 20 feet from it.
Perfect. I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration with the Distant Spell Metamagic.
Okay. You cast Lesser Restoration, you permeate it over there, and the spell just doesn't seem to work. Don't know, it doesn't make total sense. By the power of the Arcana invested within you, it should have worked, but alas, it does not.
Oh, what? Can I?
Lara's like, if only I could touch it. I bet I could try and heal it of my disease with my power.
Only you could touch it.
If only I could levitate or something, but I can't. Like, okay, she like stomps on the deck twice. She goes, okay, very careful, get even closer if you can. We're gonna do a little piloting check from Celine to see if she can like very carefully, very closely come right up underneath it.
Be creative.
She rolls a natural 20.
Oh yeah.
And will get it, in fact, right within touching distance. Like you won't even have to
5
move.
feet. Wow.
I'm gonna make it fly still, but basically it's like, yeah, right within. You gotta like stand on your tippy toes a bit, but it gets like right in there. The Kindori kind of move a little closer out of nervousness, but not enough so that they harm the ship or do anything to the ship. But they do move a little close as they're like a little nervous, hoping that you guys can save it. It's very much like one of those stories that you see where like an animal is like worried about its friend or its babies and like goes and finds a human to protect them or help them out. And it's kind of what's going on here, a little bit. So they let you do what you're gonna do, but they don't, they get a little nervous. And Lara sort of like puts her hand up and she goes, "You poor beautiful creature." And she puts her hand on its sort of belly, and is going to like close her eyes in a little flash of moonlight that is very similar to their eyes. Just a little will go off in her hand, and she'll blink a couple times. Go. It's like my magic is bouncing off me. That I've never encountered anything that hasn't been able to. I've never encountered a disease or a poison that I haven't been able to heal with a touch. I don't know what's going on.
Mine as well
perhaps
failed.
What was that, Edward?
Mine failed as well. I have a suspicion. This is just a shot in the dark. I cast a spell magic on it.
Okay, cast a spell magic on it. It's a good question. You cast a spell magic and it finds nothing to grasp onto. Doesn't seem to work, unfortunately.
Worth a shot.
It was worth a shot. Fair enough. Selena's going to cast Detect Evil and Good and sort of gasp a little bit. She's gonna go, it's a celestial, of course, but there's something almost coating it or inside of it that's evil and dark. It's like a curse or something. But not quite. I don't know how to explain it.
Is it some sort of parasite?
I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think so. Just let me try one more thing. She's going to reach up and touch it again and cast protection from evil and good. She goes, hopefully that will block whatever is happening. And then she will put her hand back on it and try another lay on hands to try and dismiss the disease. And we killed nat 20s today. And
Whoa.
she sort of like focuses in, and it takes extra energy. So it takes like, unlike the usual 5, it takes about 10 points. But she manages to press past that evil influence and actually find the plague within and cure it. She goes, "That did it." And in the moment, the creature sort of like turns with a little bit more sort of enthusiasm, kind of sort of bellows and like moves a little bit more life and a little bit more energy. Moonshadow looks a little not like exhausted, but a little tapped from the amount of magic she had to use to heal this, and it sort of moves around a little happily, kind of bumps it's the Kindori next to it, very friendly like, and blinks its eyes like in like rows and rows, almost like a little light show, as if to say that it's very happy.
Aww.
So perhaps we have a source now.
Well, we have a solution, but actually, let's ask. And I flash the staff, asking kind of source, origin, trying to find out where, or how this affliction was picked up.
Again, their communication system's too foreign to you, and as it begins to like blink and like ones and twos and threes and ones and twos and threes, it's like trying to learn Morse code, but you only know like a couple things, and you're not able to fully interpret its answer. Zalace, you may be below deck, but you did mentally connect to it, and you do sense what it's trying to relay. So while you're below deck, you're understanding everything it's trying to say to the crew in this moment. And while everyone on the deck is going to be like, what do we do? You know what it's trying to say. It simply says that it ran into another pod that was suffering like this, and and that's kind of it. They're not intelligent enough to sort of like know about like how diseases spread. They're not intelligent enough to know that. They said they ran into another pod that was sick, and they tried to do what they could to help, and then they left them and have been feeling really bad ever since.
Can I just ask, in which direction did you come into contact with that pod?
They would note that it was deeper. They would sort of say further from the sun.
Further from the sun?
Yes, further from the sun. Yeah. Again, they don't know direction too well. They're not very intelligent creatures, but they do know well enough to say that it's further away from the sun.
Okay, so I'll run up, and without going outside, obviously there's...
Yeah.
I will try and get someone's attention.
That'll turn right to you. He'll walk up so you can talk and
yeah. So then I'll explain everything that I've just heard in my head and let you take over from there, so you know what's going on. So we can maybe try and follow this back.
Are you still talking to it, Zalace?
I'm still in contact, yes.
Please tell them that we're seeking to help, just like we did with their friend, but with all of them. So if they can point us in any direction, perhaps guide us, we can extend them a favor if they need it. But I believe getting to the source is imperative to us.
Further away from the sun. That's the only direction they have.
All right. I assure them they can pass safely, and we'll stay here on the lookout for any fishermen and the like. And please let them know they're as safe as they can be.
I'll relay what Ed's just told me, so that they know.
Got it. In the end, the central previously sick one, who very quickly, that sort of like black dripping from its eyes is like quickly like just become like leftover residue and isn't actually leaking anymore. Still kind of clinging there, but it's like solidified and it's gonna like probably fall away soon enough. And it sort of like circles around, kind of like dips down to the front of the bow and kind of blinks its eyes again, as if to say thank you. And kind of all of them sort of like playfully kind of like move around the ship a bunch, as if to say like just kind of almost play with the ship a little bit, and they just kind of like swim around and back and forward, and maybe even bump the side of the ship, and you guys would all feel the ooh like a little rock, but it's not like you don't worry that it's going to damage the ship, but they kind of bump the ship as if they're playing happy and thankful. Yeah, they'll blink a number of times in sort of complex motions to one another. Is there anything else you would like to do here with the Kindori?
Well, we've got a location for the pod where they came from, and the only problem is what we just did may work on one at a time, but it doesn't really give us a cure, does it?
Well,
Good.
if we can find a source, then
Kill it there.
because based, do I know from like watching what Alana did that I know what she cast as a precursor to.
I'll say that she explained everything as she went.
Yeah.
She's here to help. She would have said that, she found there was like evil within it. So she tried to block that evil with the protection of doing good. And then she used her paladin powers to cancel it out, but it was twice as difficult to do so as she's ever had to. So yes, she explained.
It's not a conventional disease, it's something arcane. So perhaps finding the source will undo what the damage has been done to the Kindori.
We have a direction as well, furthest from the sun, so.
Well, I suppose we'll be heading further out, closer to the Astral Sea, so we may have to stop off for supplies anyway, if we're going beyond Hikartha.
You want to try plotting us a course, seeing if we should stop for rations or head straight?
Well, we're very close to Mingabwe, so we'll stop there, get some supplies, and then move through the outer worlds.
I like that suggestion, but I do have one more concern. And he looks at the dame. Does she look like anything different about her since doing so?
She looks like very minorly, like very recognized, like not you, you're an artificer, but very recognizably like hired in a way that a caster might be. Like a sorcerer might be, someone whose magic comes from within. But she's otherwise seems okay. She'll also look at you and say, I'm also, per my divine powers, I'm immune to diseases, but this is a disease like I've never seen before. It's almost like some kind of curse or some kind of evil affliction more than like a true regular disease. I don't know how to explain it. And we should talk about it more later. But I think I have some, I don't know, I need to think about it.
All right. Okay, then. Let's plot a course to get a resupplies just in case. Let's try and make it a small team that gets the supplies. No need to overstay our welcome. Get out, get in. And also, just in case, we have been exposed to it. So if it's this plague was affecting others, and we are about to land in a neutral zone with a lot of traveling in and out, so don't want to risk anything too much. So let's make it as hasteful as possible. How's that sound?
Aye, sir.
Says, of course.
All right.
You guys leave the Kindori behind. The Kindori kind of again swim about very happily, and eventually you turn from their direction and sort of blast off to cruise speed once you're parted ways from them. they don't really like let you go for a while. They're like, we want to play, we want to have fun. So you guys kind of hang out for maybe a half an hour, and they're a little too big that you can just escape through cruise speed unless you were like actively going to like ward them off with something violent. So you guys hang out for like maybe 20 minutes, a half an hour, where they kind of swim around and bump the ship and play a little bit. But after a while, you're able to sort of leave them. There's a bit of like a that's sort of like a
flash of farewell.
yeah, and it's sort of like a oh man, are you sure? We'll miss
Aw.
you. It's kind of like one of those kind of wails, and then
I
eventually you
freaking
find your way to the
love them.
mile and go away, and Captain, you immediately lose all morale. The party's like, how dare you make us leave our new friends? Back up. And yeah, you leave the Kindori behind, having saved one from this horrible plague. Celine, or not Celine, excuse me, Elara will say, I don't know. We could beseech the clerics and paladins to try and make a large crusade against this plague. It would be quite an endeavor. There aren't many who, maybe there's druids? I'll have to think on it, but curing this thing would be a huge endeavor if it could only be done by people capable of at least mid-level healing magics. It would be a large endeavor, but it could be done perhaps. It would be better if there was some kind of alchemical or herbalist best way if we could cure it, if we could find an actual ointment, then we could, I don't know, put a bounty out with various ships to heal Kindori. I don't know how to think on it.
Is there a way that we could find something, an artifact, or I don't know, a book that will help us amplify something like the spell, or is there something that we can make to amplify a spell?
That's a very good idea. Maybe there's some way to spread it out long-wise, like I don't know, some kind of like long-form healing that we could just sort of send out to make him kind of, well, I mean, and she gets an idea, or actually, you know what? I'll say Celine gets the idea because she's more, she's less creative and emotional and more sort of technical. And just says, well, what about the scavers? I mean, they said that the sick ones will usually sort of grow vegetation on their back, and the scavers are known to follow the Kindori and sort of eat parasites and vegetation off their back. What if there was some way we could get the scavers to sort of carry some kind of healing thing with them, and they could like drop it off, and that could be a sort of natural like habitat way to drop off the healing. It's a good idea, Zelace. Moonchild's like, that's such a great idea. That would be so good. And she like has a whole little freak out about how she thinks it's a great idea.
So we can make a tag for it. Let them do the work for us. It's how do you apply healing magic to a tag though?
Celine looks at Moonshadow and says, I don't really know of any magic that could do that. I mean, wizards are known to be able to like make their own spells, but we like divine casters or even the druids who are more primal, we draw that from nature and we're given those powers. It's not something that we can just modify and make ourselves. Wizards can't make healing magics, so it'll probably have to be something more herbal based or alchemical based or something like that, and maybe we could sort of feed it to scavers, and then scavers could use it and feed it to Kindori. I don't know, that could be a good idea.
Beyond my capabilities to extend the range of spells or make spells faster to skip casting certain like skip incantations and so on, but a delayed or sustained spell, particularly one that requires something of that potency, is, I won't say it's impossible, but to find someone with the skill to do so, or an artifact with the capability of doing that, is, the chances are low. Not zero, but low.
We'll need to collect a sample and have an alchemist reverse it from there.
Well,
But surely, if we can amplify it at the source and try and nullify it at the source and then maybe turn that source into the cure. Like reverse engineer it from there so that when that source now hits
Works in our
something,
favor.
it
Well-
works in our favor and then it can get passed on that way.
We understand the means to cure it. We know that much. There is two aspects. There is the malignant curse that requires the initial spell from Alana, and then once that is kept at bay, the sickness can then be cured. So it is a two-part cure as such.
Celine says that, and it's very hard to capture two spells in. I mean, it's possible. You can make magic items, scrolls, or even lists of warding, but they're miraculously expensive, and to compile two spells into one, it would be very, very time-consuming and costly to do it in sort of basic arcane arithmetic.
I agree. The resources to pull that off are not in our favor, but I think, like Celine said, the scabbards are in our favor, and keep as many lives safe as possible. We just need to
Then-
find a way to link the two.
Perhaps then we can still stop at Mingawe and resupply, but perhaps a little foray into the moons of Garden won't be a bad idea. There's plenty of trade. Perhaps we'll find the person or components we need to create such a marvel.
Celine will say, is
Yeah.
anybody on the ship an alchemist or a herbalist of any kind?
Not from our understanding, but worth an asking. Do we have anyone who's an herbalist or an alchemist?
Shake my head.
Chaplin's not. Lara's not. Celine, I don't believe, is either.
Well, if we can find one, we can offer them passage. Perhaps we'll find one looking for a job even. But I suppose looking for one will be our next bet. And also finding scabbards after that.
Lara will say, I imagine there's no shortage of herbologists or even druids who might be around the garden. It's a very unique biome. Maybe we'll go look around there.
Alright, set course. Let's get ourselves moving and let's see if we can find some druidic friends.
So you guys are gonna set route for garden. You guys are on your 5th day of travel. So 5 trails 2, so 7 minus. So you're only 5 days from garden. You're gonna make your voyage there. So you set out. Nothing happens there. Celine is going to go to everybody on the ship she can. She's going to go to Etherith and Ed, and she's going to do her lay on hands, just as a precautionary to try and cure you guys of diseases, because you guys were on the deck when they encountered the whale. Nothing happens on day 5. That was okay. Nothing happens that night. Nothing on the next day. Ooh, something might happen today. Right. Let's see who you bump into. That's cool. Sure, let's do it. Okay, you guys are going to run into something that is not going to make you very happy. Nope. Before I go crazy setting it up, you guys are going to run into a ship that you guys have encountered once before, and they were pirates who attempted to attack you. This is when you guys had the two ships and the giant cannon ship shot at you guys. The same type of ship. Different ship, same type of ship. You find it, however, let's see how many are there. There is 3 Kindori. 2 of them are sort of like at the like sort of flying around the edge, kind of like very distressed. And there's one that is kind of like trying to get them, but this giant gift ship is like cutting it off. And there are like, you clearly see like harpoons being thrown from the side of the ship at the Kindori as it kind of like wails unhappily. You expect you've come upon a sort of whaling operation here as they are attempting to like take one of the Kindori for themselves. What would you all like to do, if anything?
Is everyone saying this?
It would be hard not to. It's quite a sight.
Now, this gift ship is going to be distracted with them. That could give us an opening to keep going. But it could also give us a thing to get a clean shot on them.
So
Are we ramming?
just going to run up to the front ballista, get loaded, get ready, wait for the action to fire.
Is Ed's deduction there kind of accurate? Since they're distracted with the Kindori, do they know of us being around here?
There's a lot of eyes on a ship at any given time. You'd be surprised if they didn't know you were coming. Like, yeah.
And how's it looking from ramming trajectory? Do we have a shot without hitting the Kindori?
You can certainly try. Do you guys want to sort of like engage into like a combat scenario here?
Yes.
All right. So we are going to do as we've always done in these particular games. We're going to do a side initiative. So give me a moment. I need to do a little organizing of the screen here because this is going to get complicated.
Oh my goodness. Please don't give me that one.
Oh.
Oh man. Like zoinks.
Sir, are we ramming?
So you're on a strike.
We have an opening.
I mean, we're trying to help the Kindori, but your shots.
More.
Oops. More. That is one big guy.
This is going to represent the bombard ship because they're GIF and GIF are like hippos. So here we are.
Garth. Oh, GIF.
GIF, not GIF, but GIF.
It is so hard to tell them apart.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So basically, these guys are going to represent your ships, and then everything over here is going to represent what's going on with the ships themselves.
Awesome.
Come on, bird. I want a hummingbird because it looks like your ship. No, it's not okay.
Come on.
It needs a minute to like load because I just downloaded it. Hold. I'll tell you
Setting
what
initiative
though.
in the meantime.
Yes, we're gonna set initiative in the meantime. That's absolutely correct. I also need to populate their ship. Oh my god, he's big. I need to populate their ship anyway, really quick. Oh my god, I gotta untap it. Get rid of that, get rid of that, that. Make my life a little easier. Oh god, I needed that. That's too bad. Homebrew. Need to get out our crew members. It's the Kindori, it's the Shrike. We're gonna leave you down here because you're one of the bad guys. So I need you, I need you, and I need you. Okay. Come on, birdie. Nope. All right, it's fine. Sorry. This might take a second just to get it all grabbed.
Oh, their ship looks so cool.
Shoot.
That's just a straight up railgun.
Oh yeah, that's a big boy cannon.
When we can steal it,
Take it.
we can get a big cannon.
Captain Ed, permission to steal ship.
It's not piracy if it's against other pirates.
Let's survive this first. Yeah, we're gonna ram them.
We're moving? All right. No, I'm kidding. God, I hope not.
It's fine. Okay, so
Substitute
we're
us with
going
the
to
whale.
yeah, so we're gonna do these. Ooh, actually, I gotta. Ah, shit. Oh, there it is. Come on, hummingbird. You fucking bastard. It's fine. I'll use a different bird. It would have been cool, but it's fine. We'll use the owl for you guys.
Right.
It's a little big for your ship. We'll bring it down. Yeah, that'll be just fine. Okay, so over here we're gonna have like the actual, like you guys coming upon each other and whatnot. Alrighty then. So this is going to be the Shrike, or this is the Dawn's Eclipse. So we will do side initiative in Spelljammer because it's a little more simple. Oh, I'll get your name in there too, Mr. Whale. Kindori.
And theoretically, these Kindori could be on our side.
Probably. Okay, let me see. So, Captain, why don't you roll for your ship? You may use your initiative because you are the captain.
Okie dokie. That's an 18 plus 2 for a dirty 20.
All right, you will be going first. The Kindori will be going last. The bombard there. A little battle music to get us going. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff we got to do in order to make a ship combat happen, it seems. Okay. And with that, the game begins. So it is the Dawn's Eclipse turn. Quite fittingly, you guys pull out of Wildspace, begin to make your approach very slowly. I will remind you of how ship combat works as we go. So we start. Captain and everybody else, you all go at the same time. So whenever everyone has something to do, let me know when you want to do it, and we'll do it. So I'm going to pull up my ship combat doc, because it's been a while since we've had a ship on ship combat. Yes, Ethered.
I want to use my system disturbance.
Okay, remind me how that works, please.
As a bonus action, I can use a ship that I can see within 1,000 feet, and for the next minute, I have advantage on any scanning checks I make, but also When that ship makes an ability check, I can roll a d6 as a reaction and subtract it from their check. So that's an
Okay,
attack
so what do you
roll.
need from me? Sounds very cool.
Nothing.
Okay. So what do you? Does anything happen? What do we do? Nothing at all.
Nothing at all until it does something or needs to make
All
a
right.
save.
All right, you
unless
target
has
it.
a save.
Just keep me appraised of the situation. You target.
Can
Absolutely.
do.
You say Epoxy. What did you outplan?
Real quick, if we ram, is it a saving throw for us too?
No. It'll probably be a saving throw to remain on your feet, but other than that, no.
In that case, I'm gonna use my action to have Ed focus fire with the ship.
Give it to
Uh,
Celine because she's spell jamming right now.
Oh, is she? My bad.
I don't know.
Celine.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is Ed spell jam? Is Ed on the pilot
I
right
would give.
now?
I would have given you guys like a first round if you guys wanted to like prep yourselves to be in the right positions, to make yourself
okay.
happy.
All right, so yeah, so perfect. If Ed's piloting, then disregard.
Okay, so yeah, you swap out with Celine, just to get into positions. Nothing like crazy buff wise, but just to get into positions. Okay, so Epoxy, you give Ed focus fire, which is one more time a reminder.
Additional damage die, and it's gonna be a D8.
Right, additional damage dice to you, Ed, whenever you make your ram. Incredible. I'm going to say Celine, as we are entering into this combat, is going to start strong, and she is going to conjure some elementals to help arm and man the various armaments. She gets 8 elementals. She uses a quarter or below elemental. I'm going to go look at her options really quick, but I believe they're going to probably be methods. So quarter to 8 and elemental. Oh, look at all of them. They need hands. Quarter. What is that? That's kind of cool. She is going to summon these dragons, these like little drakes that are no larger than they're small creatures. So they're about the size of Zalace, but they're like these little drakes that are made completely of steam. So they look like almost like shadowy smoke drakes, and they kind of like on the deck of the ship. And she will send them off to the various armaments on the ship to help arm them.
Ryan, can you remind me the ballista, please?
Yes, I can. So for my 2 people there, here we go. They have a +6 to hit. They have a range of 120 feet standard, a long range of 480 feet, and they do 4d10 damage.
Thank you.
Got it. So just so I position everybody nice on the ship, Ethrith, I imagine you are in the bridge.
Yep.
Probably the safest place to do your kind of thing, my friend. Celine will be on the deck where she's conjured her elementals. Ed, you are in the pilot seat. The dame's on the top deck. Cook is in the cook's. Jorn will similarly be on the main deck. Epoxy, where are you positioned?
Main deck, very front.
Got it. So like probably right here as well. Basan, where would you like to be on the ship at the beginning of combat?
Are we in mangonel distance or are we too close for mangonel?
We don't have mangonels.
Oh, that's right. Then I want a ballista.
Okay. So let's put you on the mid-deck ballista. Chaplain, we're just going to say for whatever reason, he's like busy tending to like a critical system or whatever, because he is not with us today. Ed Jord, you are clearly on the Spelljammer helm. Ethrith, we already talked about you. Zalace, we already talked about you. Oh, you'll be on the, I imagine the front ballista is where you'd like to be.
Please.
All right, and that covers everybody. I'm going to go get some breaks out. Too late. Sorry, Hummingbird, you ran out of time. Oh, cool.
Whoa.
This is what her drakes, her elemental drakes, will look like. And they will be helping out, so she can summon a lot of stuff going on. Bear with me, sorry guys. She can summon 8 of these fellas. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh my goodness.
7, and she will just have like 2 ready to do something. She'll put them like just like up here on the back, ready to help out somehow, in some way, shape, or form. Cool.
Right, just in case things get a little bit crazy, you said they're my size?
They're your size, yes. They're small creatures. I know what you're thinking, but yeah, there's. You can talk to her. She could probably summon something like that if you want it, but in this moment, she's summoning aid for all of the various puzzles. Okay, she will position herself a little out of the way so as not to be in anyone's way. Okay, so that's what Celine does. Conjures these little elemental guys. These are fume dragons. Put them there. Okay, who else's stuff they want to do during Dawn's Eclipse turn?
So I will prepare a bolt, and I'll use one of my specialities on there, which is exposed weakness.
Okay, how does that work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is that just something that happens, or do you need anything?
No. Well, it's when I hit the ship on an attack, can expend a power die and deal additional damage equal to the number rolled, and this damage cannot be reduced in any way.
Understood. All right. You keep track of that, sir. No problem. Just want to make things make a little bit more sense in this battle here. We're just going to move this thing a little further away from you guys, so when push comes to shove and you ram it, they can position it accordingly. So I'm just going to move it a touch further away from you guys. Get your Kindori in there.
Apologies, can I change that to disabling shot?
Sure, no problem. Okay. Is there anything else for Dawn's turn? Yes, Epoxy.
Sorry. I just wanted to say that I want to be on the top front deck.
Top front deck. Okay, no problem. Got it. Anybody else have stuff they need or want to do in this first turn? Hassan, are you preparing anything with your shot or what?
Yeah, if I'm within range, I would like to shoot. That's what we're doing. We're shooting.
Well, how about, so let's see how far in range you guys are. I'm actually gonna just off it so we know proper distances.
Or if nothing else, I'll ready a shot for the cat and wait on the captain's command. Wait on the captain's explicit command to fire.
Got it. So let's deal with you for a second, Captain, because that might determine what's happening. So you are considered at the edge of middle range with the enemy ship. I'm gonna be a little nice here, which means that you're at long range for both ballista. So during combat, you can attempt a jump. You can attempt to jump ranges if you want. So if you want to try and get the ship significantly closer, you can try and bust through the ranges and get closer. To do so, I would have you use your action to make a DC 15 space vehicle check. So that would be intelligence plus proficiency.
Okay, let's do that.
That's just to draw closer, possibly hit.
Let's do that. That's intelligence, proficiency. So I give me 7. Boom. All right, that is 11 plus 7, 18.
That'll do the job. So in this moment, the ship sort of bumps through cruise speed. It's just like a fraction of a second. But Captain, you're able to just sort of spurt the power of your Spelljammer Hem to make your ship sort of get a speed burst closer, so that we are avoiding normal spelljamming rules, and it takes about 10 turns to get into melee. So your ship will sort of blast to this range of their ship. Well done. Would you like to use your ship's speed to... Oh, shit, I deleted the bombard. It's okay. It'll take 2 seconds. It'll take 2 seconds to put it back. Do you want to use your ship to... You just want to use the regular speed to draw even closer?
Yeah, 70 feet flying speed.
Got it. I believe that was the correct size of the bombard. Okay, so how much strike speed do you have?
70 feet.
You push forward another 70 feet, drawing ever closer. All right, as you hit 70 feet, I'm gonna get rid of this now. We don't need that anymore. You are within 155 feet, which is well within range for. Come on, brain. You can do it. Where are you? That's a fume drake. Where's the fucking ship? There it is. That's 120 feet for the ballista. So you two, Zalace and Basan, will be within long range if you wanted to fire your ballista shots on this turn. Or you can hold and wait. Up to you.
Question then.
Okay.
Does my sharpshooter ability come into play with this?
Your sharpshooter, I would say so. Yes, this is a ranged weapon.
Okay. So if we're at long distance, that would be disadvantage. If I use sharpshooter, it'll be a normal roll anyway, yeah?
No, with sharpshooter, you would subtract a my. Oh,
So it doesn't impose disadvantage on range.
no, you get around cover is what you do. If you had crossbow expert feat, I would give it to you.
I have
What was that?
I do have crossbow expert.
I'll give it to you then. Yeah, we'll say that cancels out into a nice flat range, so you would be at a straight roll. And if you wanted to do a sharpshooter shot, you could subtract 5 from your attack roll and possibly get a plus.
Yeah, add the 10. We'll just go with the normal one at the minute. Let's
Okay.
get it first.
Okay,
So
go for
to
it.
say range shot as well. That's 17, 23 to hit.
23 will certainly hit the bombard. Go ahead and roll damage. As a reminder, it's 3d10 on the ballista.
I thought you said 4. No.
No, sorry, it's 3. It's 3 for the ballista.
Okay.
Maybe I misspelled it.
and I'm going to use a power dice as well, so which is a D8. Oh, numbers. 26 to hit.
26 damage or to hit?
Oh, sorry, it was 23 to hit, 26 damage.
Incredible. 26 damage.
So on a hit, the ship has disadvantage on its next ability check or attack roll it makes before the end of my turn.
Got it. So we'll say as you strike it and it goes through the wooden boards of the bombard, it's going to disrupt their systems basically. So we'll figure out where its next attack roll is coming from, but it's going to have disadvantage. Well done. I'll mark that down. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, what about you, Basani? You taking a shot?
Yes, please. It will be at disadvantage.
Yep, go for it.
And what are the is it plus
Plus
6?
6.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that sucks. That was at disadvantage. That was a 1. So
Okay. Disadvantage, that was a 1. That sucks.
it does. Sorry.
I don't know if I can give you like a friendly fire on a. I mean, it's possible.
Don't worry about it.
Please don't feel bound to that because it doesn't necessarily make sense. Please don't hurt us.
Well, let me ask you:
sorry,
Are you on the? Oh God, are you on the stern castle ballista or are you on the main deck ballista? would you say?
I would have thought that I would have been on the stern, the one in the back, because it seems like it would have better sight lines.
It does. It definitely does. Okay.
Because that's sort of what that's how she does things.
Roll me a d4.
Okay.
See where that ballista bolt ends up.
I can take it.
Also a 1.
So I like to do sort of a clock. I'm going to say that might hit your own ship by accident because there is plenty of ship over there to be hit as you're aiming in that direction. Make me a +6 attack roll against the strike ship.
Oh my goodness.
Not 20.
Yeah.
Not 20. Look
Okay,
at
so
that.
first
Nat
of all,
20.
this dice is so that was another nat 1. I don't even know what that means, but we're just gonna put that dice away and not roll that again today.
So
Put
the
it in
reason,
dice
so you
jail.
don't friendly fire. The good news is you don't friendly fire. The bad news is that
I just hit the
the
ship.
ballista breaks.
Okay.
So you turn around, the bolt sort of jams, and basically, like, for whatever reason, the quadridge like stops working and gets jammed onto the ballista. So until someone can come over here and fix this ballista, it's going to be inoperable. So you're down a ballista until someone can fix it. That's what Snake Eyes will get you. And it's the dice. The dice tell a story. It's all good.
Oopsie.
Apoxy, you already gave a commander action, so that's that. I think Jorn is going to just do what Jorn does. He just says, "All right, I want to see you all working hard. I was in the Dwarven military. Let's see if we can put him to shame." And he's going to use his leadership ability to grant everyone on the ship a bonus D4 to all.
Oh my goodness.
What is it? To all attack rolls and saving throws. Everyone on the ship has a bonus D4 for all attack rolls and saving throws until his leadership skills run out. Now that I've got my hippopotamus back, it's all I wanted for Christmas, and I deleted it by accident. Right there, fantastic. Okay, so that is your first mate. Celine's already done her thing. Ilara is a melee paladin. So, because she's a paladin, so she naturally is melee. She's going to be infuriated by this thing that's happening, and she's going to run down to the ballista. Since you're coming at them low, she's going to try to take a shot. That misses. It fires upwards and it sort of bounces off the. Oh, I'll give her the D4 because leadership. Nothing. Sort of bounces off the wood hull of the enemy ship. No dice. And then all of the conjured elementals are going to do their turns to reload everything and make everything happen again. Okay, that is going to bring us to the Bombard. The Bombard is being shot upon. It doesn't want to let go of its potential hull, as it seems to have been like harpooned and strapped to the back of the Bombard for the time being. So what are we gonna do? You guys are a big problem. So they're gonna just rotate the ship. This might hurt a little.
No.
Bombards are big, bad, mean ships, folks. It is going to rotate its ship a quarter degrees at you guys, because as you would know, ships can only do like a 90-degree rotation in one shot unless they have a really good pilot. I'm actually going to roll for you. Let's. I'll tell you what. I'll be kind because there's a lot of rules here. I'm going to say, Captain. You knew that, and we'll say that you came at them a little bit on the off degree so that they couldn't perfectly align their cannon at you guys. So I will give them a roll to see if their pilot can basically do. There's one of those. There's a gambit in there that allows them to try and do a full 180. So I'm going to let them make a roll to see if they can achieve that.
I'm going to use my reactions to disturb that and reduce that, whatever the total is, by 1.
Okay, Captain, could you tell me what that gambit is and what the DC is. Now, one might save you at the risk, to be very clear.
Okay.
Oh my.
Is this the one that you're trying to turn like a quarter, right?
It's why they try and turn like the full 180.
It's back off. The ship moves half its speed in the direction of an aft edge without changing facing. It can't take any turns during this movement. To perform this stunt, you must succeed at a DC 10 vehicle check. On a failed check, your starship moves backwards, only half its speed. And if you fail this check by 5 or more, your starship does not move and takes -4 penalty to AC until the start of the next round.
Got it. I think what this guy's attempting is
Turn in place?
half its speed in the direction on the aft edge without without changing facing. Can't take turns during this movement.
You can do turn in place. The ship does not move, but instead can turn to face any direction. This stunt doesn't require a skill check and allows all weapons to fire in any direction.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna try. I'm still gonna give them a check because they're trying to like lug the Kindori around with them. So I'm still gonna make them do a check. And if that was the case, it's only gonna be. I'll only hit them at a DC 10, so that will still work on their side of things. So they will sort of rip the Kindori around and face the ship at your ship. And as it does so, the Bombard is going to try and fire its giant cannon at the Shrike ship, dead on. So it's going to make a +6 attack roll at your ship. I'm gonna be super generous in this moment, Etherith. Technically, it doesn't cost anything to do this, so I'm gonna say if you wanted to apply that to this attack roll instead, it'll still be the -1. But if you wanted to, yeah, okay, we'll give him a -1 for the giant cannon shot. That is going to be a modified 20. I'm sorry to say, even with the -1. The ship turns, swivels around, points that giant hippopotamus mouth-like cannon at you guys, and a massive cannonball is going to fire out of it at you all, and it's going to hit the Shrike ship, and it's going to deal.
Sorry, was that a disadvantage?
Why would it be a disadvantage?
Because the disabling shot area.
Indeed, it will.
Oh my god.
Good catch, Solace. Good catch. My apologies.
You saved us, I hope.
It rolls a 14 against your 15 AC because of Solace's disabling shot.
Yeah.
Solace, you saw that big cannon, and you pointed your ballista at it, and you fired through the hull and right into it. Little does anybody know. We sort of like look inside the barrel of the cannon. We see just that little point of the ballista pointing out, and as that cannonball fires through, it sort of like scrapes the edge of the cannonball, destroys that bolt, and as the cannonball comes out, it's so close, like it's scarily close. Anyone standing on the top deck, it would have like the bottom of the thing. Like this is like probably a 10-foot diameter cannonball. It like over all of your head, and it's like a crazy, like you feel the wind of the bolt go over all of your heads, but it does miss the ship. You guys avoid 111 damage, thanks to Solace.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's a mean cannon. You guys are picking a fight with a bigger fish, to say the least. And that is going to be its turn. That'll bring us to the Kindori. The shipmates would have all had to have gone to work to keep everything working, so the Kindori is sort of not going to be harpooned anymore. The Kindori is going to be very upset and is going to try and kick free. It's going to be very difficult for it. It's going to try. It's at disadvantage per the harpoons. It doesn't manage to keep itself free with its action. These Kindori are scared. I am going to roll a wisdom saving throw to see if they can like overcome their fear to try and save their member of their pod. They both do. With you guys sort of coming in, they feel bolstered in their resolve, and they are going to swim at the Bombard. these guys would have moved over to about here because the ship swung around. So they're going to start to fly in and approach aggressively at the bombard. They will take their full speed. I'll be kind and say they start a little bit closer. And say they begin to start just like full action dashing at the side of the bombard. The bombard's in a little bit of trouble. They're being flanked by Kindori and attacked by a Shrike ship. That brings us to the Dawn Eclipse turn. You guys, you have another round. Everybody gets a turn. What are we doing? Etherith.
I would like to scan it.
All right. This is an opposed check, if I'm not mistaken. Yes?
Yes. Investigation check plus spellcasting modifier versus deception spellcasting modifier.
Got it. Deception using spellcasting modifier for the enemy.
An investigation from me.
Yep, go for it.
You're kidding me right now. That is 10 plus minus what? 15.
15. That is going to be a failure. They rolled over on the enemy ship, or the deception is going to be a modified 20. They say, unfortunately.
Son of a bitch. Oh well.
Yep. Sorry to say. Okay, that is Etherith's action. Who else has an action for it? Yes, Basan.
I would like to shoot at it again, please.
Okay, so you run over to take over Dame Alara's ballista, presumably.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna. If she's already there, I don't want to. I'm not gonna shove her over. No.
She's gonna go. No, clearly you're the better artillerist. You go for it. Oh God, that sounded really sarcastic, didn't it? I didn't mean that. I'm very. We're in the middle of something. Do it. Just go.
Yeah.
She like
okay.
gives it to you.
Before
she meant it
fires,
genuinely, but she didn't. She sounded very sarcastic.
Am I still at disadvantage?
Unless you want to wait for Ed's turn, that might draw you a little closer. Yes.
I will hold my turn until Ed then.
Got it. And Lara's just gonna like start running to the top deck. She's gonna draw her blading shield and just be ready for a hopeful boarding. Okay, why don't we hit the captain, because the captain might determine what the artillerists are doing. All right, Cap, what are you up to?
I'm gonna approach sort of at like a slant angle, evading, but getting closer enough so we've got some clear shots. If evading gives me 2+ bonus to my ship AC, if I succeed, a DC 10 vehicle check.
Okay, go for it. Getting 70 feet closer, you want to go like off center 70 like that?
Yeah, like an off center 70. So I'm like still like whiff. They have to turn to face their big cannon.
All right, yep, make a defensive.
That's an 18 plus 7, 25 to evade. And,
wow.
Okay, so you're doing an evade. I believe that's successful, if I'm not mistaken. You'll get a +2 bonus to the ship's AC until the start of your next round. Well done.
Perfect. So that gives us an extra. We have 17 AC, which, like we saw last time, every little bit counts. So
every little bit counts. That's absolutely right. Okay. I just want to see how far you guys are from the ship. You're coming in low, but still. You guys have hit 90 feet. I believe that is within standard range of the ballistas. So whoever wants to, go right ahead.
I would like to move my my focus fire to Basan.
Okay. Which applies what again?
A D8 on each attacks she hits.
Okay, so Basan, you have a D8 on your next attack roll. If you'd like to do it now, go for it.
Attack die.
Attack die, that's right. So you have a D20 plus 6 plus a D8. You're muted.
Okay, so that was a 16 plus 6 is a 22 plus 8 is a 30. Is my math right?
Oh
even if you're off by 10, you still hit. So go ahead and roll me 3d10.
Before I do that, do I have to declare that I'd like to use a point to do a disabling shot?
Yes.
I would like to use a point to do a disabling shot.
And a disabling shot you will do. Go for it.
Excellent. So after I do this, I'm going to use my little point here, and it's not going to be able to move. No, not the disabling one. The one that makes it not move. Crippling. I'm sorry, crippling. The crippling
Okay.
shot. The one that makes it's going to reduce its speed by half until the end of their next turn.
Understood. Understood.
Thank you. So it's 3d8 now for the damage. Oh, that was really good. So 8 plus 6 is 14 plus 7 is 21.
21 damage to the bombard. Okay. You beat their damage threshold and will do 21 damage to their hull. Very good. You blast it off. Well done. Zalace, would you like to take your shot? You are muted.
Thank you. I'm going to. Yeah, I'll do another disabling shot with sharpshooter, please.
All right, go for it. You also have a plus D4 to this attack roll because of leadership.
Come on. Nat 20 plus 4.
Oh my goodness.
This is gonna hurt. Go ahead and roll 3d6 plus 10. So sorry. So yeah, roll me 3d6 plus 18. 28.
Plus
Plus
8.
28. 3d6 plus 28.
Oh
for all
my
your good stuff.
gosh.
5, 6, what's that? 8. I can't count. 13 plus 28. Was it? Sorry. Right, sorry.
That would be 41 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
All right. Zalace, fucking bringing it today. You blast a shot off, and with such power that it like fully like penetrates the side of the hull, and you do pretty significant damage to the side of the bombard. It's still doing okay, but you're taking some chunks off of it. Fantastic. Is there anything else? Foxy already did yours. You already did your thing, if I'm not mistaken. Captain moved. That's what to do. So all of you guys are good. Let's see what the NPCs are up to. Celine's 2 conjurations are going to reload and re-aim. So I'm gonna. Celine ran up there. I think Jorn is going to look around and is going to see that there is enough familiars to do like 2 rounds of reload. Oh, you don't need reloads because you have the fucking those guys on there. He's gonna look around. He's gonna see Apoxy and Elara not doing anything. And he's gonna say, "I want both of you 2 ready on the artillery. We've got 2 shots. We've got 4 fires. Might as well make them count." So on the next round, he's basically saying like, get to a ballista so that we can get 2 shots off on every turn rather than just 1. Even if the other artillerists are not quite as skilled as the first round. So they're only doing aims because you've got the quadrages. But Celine will sort of summon her things to be prepared regardless to help for that 3rd round of shots, leaving 2 available for who knows what. Those ones are actually going to like have made their way forward. I'm not going to worry about the organization, just like move things along. They move forward to prepare for the breach whenever you guys get there. Joran is going to stand ready over here to, him and Celine will be ready. So you guys have 3 shots essentially. You have 3 potential shots off the main deck. So they're going to stand ready beside you, Basan, to fire. And Zalace, you'll have Elara and Apoxy beside you ready to fire. Okay, that'll bring us to... I don't think Celine's doing anything and Elara has already done her thing. Cool.
Ooh.
That'll bring us to the bombard. Oh man, their move is halved. So we're gonna do a little piloting check to see if they can even move like a little bit to just re-aim the main gun.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage per disabling shot. It will not be enough. I'm sorry to say. They managed to just squeak out a couple of degrees despite how disabled the ship is. They managed to point the cannon at you guys and reload it. They will take a shot at you guys. Is there any disadvantage on the actual attack? Yeah. Or is there any? Did anybody apply any disadvantage to the actual attack roll that's coming?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Right,
because it's been slowed
sure.
and it's been disabled. That's right. Okay.
on the next ability check or attack roll. So
Got it.
Oh my
So we'll
before
take
the
a
end of my
dis-
next turn.
Understood. I'll take a disadvantage cannonball attack at you guys. Ooh, I'm sorry to say that this is going to hit. That's going to be, even at disadvantage, that is a modified 20. And the ball comes firing out. Luckily, it's pretty significantly less than the last attack. The Shrike ship is going to take 78 points of cannonball damage as it blasts into the side of the Shrike.
78.
You're still afloat, which is the good news. That's the Bombard. The Kindori are. This one is going to try and wriggle free at disadvantage because it's harpooned. It is not going to get. Oh, let me go check. Actually, it's getting pretty close. Oh shit! It manages to break one of the harpoons off of its back, which is going to free it from disadvantage. And if it succeeds one more time, it'll be free. The other two Kindori are going to continue their mad dash at the ship to attack it. Which they do 60, so that's going to be 120 right up to it. At this point, I need to check on something. They've definitely entered melee range. So I got 8 there. I need to place some dudes around so I know what I'm doing. Or you are below deck, or that's not true. Come here. So you are also here, back. I'm just placing everybody so I know what we're actually doing. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 to aim, 1 to fire. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that'll be 7, 8. That'll be 9, 10, and that gives us. Use it 1. Oh, where did I put the captain? So guys, a second. Oh, he's right there. Okay, so he'll be here. So let me recount. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. You're not here. Okay. There's going to be 2 shots at the Kindori to try and take, or at least to ward them off and take it down. 1 is going to miss, 1 is going to hit. This Kindori is going to take that shot. Sorry, a lot of clicks. 2, 5, and that is going to be 16 damage, and it has been rehooked. Okay. That is the Kindori as they just start dashing up again. Dawn's Eclipse, we return to you. My, are we drawing ever close? Ed, the Shrike is, we're gonna call that 90 feet from the enemy ship. If you have the capacity to like dash somehow, you could deliver a blow, a boarding blow to this ship at the front.
So, question about
Yeah.
this. Do we get any sort of flank with the Kindori?
Oh
I will
my
say that they are
gosh.
harassed and flanked enough. I'm rule cooling it a little bit. I'll allow it. So here's what I will say, my friend. You got to use full speed here because that'll give you a dash action. So if you use full speed and you're successful, I'll give you advantage to your actual like ran.
Okay, so Ed is gonna try and position for a full dash, and this is a hairy one, but you know when it's tough get going. So yeah, full speed. Here we go. It is a DC check of 15. That is a 14 plus 7 for a 21.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say you managed to like it's pointing, so its cannon is pointing at you. You're right there. You sort of come around the side and then like basically the nitrous blast into the side of its ship, using the power, and you kind of hold on. Everyone's like, oh fuck, here we go. They did it to us, now we're gonna do it to them. I need you to make me at advantage an attack roll with a +8.
Okay.
And you'll have a +D4 because of the leadership of Jordan.
Okay, +4. That's a nat 20 plus
Oh
3
my god.
plus 8. I don't know how I can roll 32 d10s, but that's what's coming its way.
So that is
problem
going to be, yeah.
We take half of this damage, so like the more damage we give it, the more we're at 178, guys. So I don't know. Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty cool. No matter what, I want you to roll me 16 d10 plus 160 damage.
All right, I'm gonna have to do these men on thingamabobber. So hang on.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. How do I roll?
Click on the dice button at the bottom.
So if you want to use
D&D
Roll20, go to the very, very bottom where it says dice.
Yeah,
so on the side
Roll20.
left tab, it says dice at the very bottom. Do you see it?
Okay.
You see the
No,
tools
sorry,
on this?
I didn't have Roll20 open. I just had D&D Beyond.
Yeah, you can do it on there as well.
Yeah, you can do it there as well. At the
So
very,
the
very
dice
bottom.
button on there.
Yeah, at the very, very bottom left is that little like red circle with the D20 shape in the middle of it. You see it?
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So click on that.
And
go to your D10 and click on it 16 times.
16 times. Okay. Here.
Let's hope you
What
guys
in
live.
the world?
91.
So 91 plus 160.
Yeah.
We're so fucked.
251.
We only take half.
So the enemy ship is going to take 251 damage. And your ship is going to take 125 damage.
Okay, we still good. We're hanging on.
Yeah, you guys are alive. I don't know if the same can be said for their ship. No, in fact, it can. Ed, how do you want to split their ship down the fucking middle?
Exactly how it sounds. Like freaking just right through it. Just like a clean cut. And Ed like went silent while you guys were just doing all your stuff. Ed knew, he's like, there's only one way we're surviving this. And he just like right before dashing, he just did a little beatbox and
yeah, you're sort of like you're doing a little beatbox to keep yourself there. You're becoming quite the skilled shipman, and you look at sort of like where's the laces been focus firing in, where the center of the bombard ship has been like weakening. There was that one crit there that weakened a number of the boards, and you just find your way around, point the nose at them before their ship could even turn because it was disabled by the sun from having enough speed. You just like pump all of the residual power from the helm into the ship, and you just blast into him. The nose of the ship goes right through the side of it, pierces out the side, and the integrity of the ship just cannot hold up. And the ship just splits into two. The actual giant cannon of the ship sort of like cracks and splits from Zalace's other shot, and it gets split into three pieces. The cannon, the front of the ship, and the back, and all of the crew members are just scattered to wild space. As they're and the Kindori sort of snap, the Kindori are loosed free, and the bombard is destroyed, and the Kindori are saved. And that is where we will end the session and pick it up next week in the immediate aftermath of this battle. Very cool, Ed. Take an inspiration. I feel like it was worth it.
Oh my gosh.
Well done, Ed. Good move.
And
Good job, Zalace. Good
I
job, Vasar. Good job,
unfortunately
everybody.
most likely won't be here next week. I'll be driving home from my brother's, but luck. Hopefully, if I beat traffic, I can get in here late. But yeah, that was sick.
That's cool.
That was a
Insane.
cool end, man.
Can I
Yes,
ask
Vasar?
something?
Yeah, of course.
Just in general. How does the ship feel like now? Like not morale wise, like how much damage have we taken? Like I didn't expect to be able to walk away from that one. So like
Physically speaking, your ship is being held together by a number of essential boards. It is got less than 50 hit points left of its 250 pool. So it is. This ship is hurting.
we should stop and repair.
Let's take all the pieces that are broken from the other ship and just.
Chaplain
Oh
can
god!
do,
Well, I mean, we
like-
probably can do that, but that was AC, man. That was like
What in the
that was
world?
awesome stuff.
Crazy.
Awesome. Great storytelling. You guys are fantastic.
That was great. Yeah. Oh man.
I
Yeah,
can't.
I'll relay to Aaron because I do
You got
have
your
a
work cut out
feat.
for you.
Yeah, that if you guys long rest, I can heal up to like half of the health points. So you might still be able to fix it, but that was awesome, you guys.
Yeah.
I,
Well done.
Well done.
that was awesome.